In the last days, starting by taking care of your aunt, you will have many children and receive many blessings. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101 Death Fight. The atmosphere has dropped to freezing point just when the big man wanted to continue speaking. Liu Fei interrupted him rudely. Chen Qiu, what are you going to do? Do you know what you just said? I won't tell you much, just run 100 laps along the playground fair. What's wrong with you? You weren't like this before. Don't be deceived by this pretty boy. The big man Chen Qiu obviously didn't expect Liu Fei to react like this. He was stunned for a moment, with anxiety and worry on his face. Confused look. Shut up. Liu Fei shouted sternly, with a chill flashing in her eyes. Chen Qiu, please pay attention to your words. As the captain, I now order you to run 100 laps immediately. I don't want to say any more second time. Liu Fei's tone was firm and unquestionable. Everyone else present also saw how serious she was at this moment. Although Chen Qiu was unwilling to do so, under Liu Fei's majesty, he had to bow his head to admit his mistake and turn around to leave. Throughout the process, Lin Chen and others remained silent. They looked at Liu Fei's back, and couldn't help but admire and trust her a little more. It turned out that Liu Fei in front of them and Liu Fei and the organization had two different faces, but Lin Chen also forgot one thing. Before Liu Fei agreed to go home with Lin Chen, she was still the squadron leader of Dragnet. Even ordinary people may not get this kind of position. Needless to say, she is still so young and has a promising future. Boy, you are lucky this time. You can escape by hiding behind a woman, but what about next time? You won't be so lucky. Chen Qiu's cruel words echoed in the air. Even though Liu Fei was after scolding him, he still reluctantly left this threat. Lin Chen seemed not to have heard anything. He glanced at Chen Qiu indifferently, then turned to Liu Fei and said, "Let's go, Fei." His voice was calm and firm, as if he had no regard for Chen Qiu's threat. The two walked into the headquarters building side by side, leaving a sound of discussion all over the place. The comrades who had just talked with Liu Fei shook their heads and sighed. They expressed doubts about Lin Chen's strength, thinking that apart from his outstanding appearance, he seemed to have nothing special about him. Hey, although Fei is very capable, the husband she found is of no use other than being handsome. One of them couldn't help but sigh. What? Are you just jealous of other people's looks? Another person retorted. In this apocalyptic world, strength is the most important. Can looks be used as food? You're right, strength is king now. Is it possible that Mayfair will always protect her man in the future? What does that mean? Someone else joined the discussion. I think such a man is simply unreliable. That's also someone else's choice. What can we say? The last person concluded. Everyone has their own ideas and pursuits, and we have no right to interfere. Entering the magnificent headquarters building, Lin Chen and Liu Fei arrived inside the building together. As Lin Chen's eyes slowly opened, a spacious hall corridor appeared in front of them. Various honorary certificates and organization introductions were hung on the walls on both sides, demonstrating the authority and strength of this place. However, what is more eye-catching are the large characters on the wall at the end of the corridor. If I don't go to hell, who will? These 9 large characters were written with such force and momentum that Lin Chen was stunned for a moment. He originally thought that as the official superpower organization of the Dragon Kingdom, the slogan of Xian Luoda must be words full of justice and responsibility, such as for the people, for everyone and so on, but the exploding slogan in front of him completely subverted his imagination. Lin Chen couldn't help but have more curiosity and expectations about the organization Xian Luoda. It seems that this is not a pedantic and conservative organization. On the contrary, they seem to have their own unique style and philosophy, so that's not necessarily true. I can take away the girls I just fell in love with downstairs. Just when Lin Chen was secretly thinking about it, Liu Fei had already led him to the front desk in a familiar way. Her resolute temperament made Lin Chen couldn't help but look at her a few more times. We want to see Li Xianluo. Liu Fei's voice was clear and firm. As she spoke, she handed her ID to the receptionist. The lady at the front desk took the certificate and glanced at it casually. However, when she saw Liu Fei's position on the certificate clearly, her hands trembled involuntarily. She quickly handed the certificate back to Liu Fei respectfully, her voice trembling. Captain Liu, hello. I will contact Li Xianluo immediately, but please wait a moment, because Li Xianluo, we are in a meeting now. I will contact you immediately after Li Xianluo finishes the meeting. How about you, squadron leader? Please take a rest over there. Liu Fei nodded, indicating that she understood. Lin Chen took the opportunity to look around and found that the young lady at the front desk was also quite good looking. However, before he could take a few more glances, Liu Fei pulled him to the rest area and sat down. Did I give you a misunderstanding just now? I looked fierce? You won't be frightened by me, right? Liu Fei suddenly asked softly, with a hint of worry in her tone. She had seen various types of women in Lin Chen's villa, and mistakenly thought that Lin Chen only liked the delicate type, so she began to worry that her carelessness would offend Lin Chen. Lin Chen saw her worry, smiled and held her delicate little hand and said, "How could it be? You are good like this. Every woman should live her own way. There is no need to suppress herself to cater to others." After hearing this, Liu Fei suddenly felt a warmth welling up in her heart. Really? Lin Chen said comfortingly, "Thank you, Lin Chen. However, when you meet Li Xianluo later, don't be too cautious. He is the current person in charge of Xianluo Diwan. He is a very good person, but his temper is a bit bad." While Lin Chen was chatting and waiting with Liu Fei, several big men hurried to the headquarters building, accompanied by Chen Qiu, who had just been arranged by Liu Fei to run 100 laps. "Captain Li, that's the boy. Look at his delicate white skin, and he looks like a pretty boy at first glance. If it weren't for Captain Liu Fei telling me to get out, I would have dealt with that boy long ago, but when I thought about it, it wouldn't work. Liu Fei, if I don't tell Captain Li when Captain Fei comes back, then I should be very wrong," Chen Qiu, who was following Captain Li, kept saying in his opinion. If it weren't for the previous Xianluo who controlled the dragnet according to the military method, otherwise he would not have left just because of a word from squadron leader Liu Fei. No, he directly found Li Zonghen, who was also a super licker, thinking that since they were in the same level of position, Liu Fei would never have anything to say at this moment. Captain Li also finished listening to Chen Qiu's jealousy, and he walked in front of Lin Chen and Liu Fei with steady steps. His eyes flowed between the two, and when he saw them so close, a look of displeasure inevitably flashed in his eyes. Liu Fei keenly caught this subtle change. She immediately stood up and stood in front of Lin Chen as a protector. "Li Zonghen, what do you want to do?" Li Zonghen didn't seem to notice her emotions. He still maintained his seemingly gentlemanly attitude and said with a smile, "Fei, why are you so nervous? I just heard that our organization recently joined an extraordinary person, a person with superpowers, so I came here to have a look. I guess this is the brother in the rumors, right?" His tone sounded very polite, but there was a hint of provocation in his words. Lin Chen naturally heard what he meant, but he did not get angry immediately. Instead, he sat there quietly and looked at Li Zonghen with a deep look. Seeing that Lin Chen didn't respond, Li Zonghen continued, "Brother, since you have joined our organization, you are one of us. I always like to use force to make friends. I wonder if you are interested in competing with me. In other words, do you dare to fight to the death? I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update." Chapter 102, Harvesting Dog-Licking Thugs. Duel. As soon as Li Zonghen finished speaking, Liu Fei couldn't help but said, "Li Zonghen, don't go too far. Lin Chen didn't come to fight with you. And are you sure you dare to duel, my little Fifei? It's just a duel. I have done so many tasks outside, and there is no one that is not a life or death duel." Li Zonghen explained, "This brother may not know what a duel means. I can explain it. It is the so-called signing of a life and death certificate. As long as you sign it, you cannot hold the other party accountable even if you die on the duel field. However, I can agree with this brother in advance that the losing side only needs to meet one condition of the other party, and there is no need to die. What are your terms?" Although Lin Chen didn't want to cause trouble, he was not afraid of it. Just now Liu Fei was able to solve it, but now it seems that Liu Fei can't solve the situation, so Lin Chen, as her man, can't hide behind her all the time. "If I win, you leave Liu Fei. If I lose, you can do anything you want me to do," Li Zonghen said confidently. "Okay, then if I win, you can follow me back to my survivor base to be a thug. I just have a shortage there." Lin Chen said lightly, "Damn it, you are a bit arrogant. You dare to ask our squadron leader to be your thug? Are you kidding me? Our squadron leader Li has now entered the threshold of a strong man and has at least the strength of a level 5 superpower. I advise you to admit defeat now," said Chen Qiu on the side. Poof, who knew that Liu Fei couldn't help but laugh, turned to Lin Chen and said, "Be gentle, otherwise you don't want your thugs to break off your hands and feet." Right, yeah, I know what's appropriate. Lin Chen smiled. Li Zonghen, on the other hand, watched with a livid face as the two of them despised him in unison, feeling extremely dissatisfied. He didn't expect that he had become a level 5 superpower, but still couldn't capture Liu Fei's heart or even get a trace of respect from her. Boy, stop talking, let's go. Follow me to the battlefield. Battlefield? Isn't it too much trouble? Just go to the door of the building. Let's fight quickly. I have something to do. Lin Chen said impatiently. Okay, don't cry if you lose later. I saw two people arriving at the door of the headquarters building one after another. Some people heard that squadron leader Li Zongheng was going to duel with the new superpower Lin Chen, and they gathered around him one by one. Damn it, I heard that Li Zongheng wants to fight for love. This is so handsome. Handsome? So what if he wins? He still won't be able to win Liu Fei's heart. Liu Fei is also very generous. The handsome guy he brought is indeed handsome, but he may not be able to defeat Li Zongheng. Li Zongheng completed an A-level mission last time and defeated a level 6 superpower from the Xiaori Empire. Isn't he only a level 5 superpower? Why is he so strong? At this time, an old man walked slowly from the side. He was wearing a Chinese tunic suit and his gait was calm and majestic. As soon as the people around him saw him, they respectfully moved out of the way to make room for him to move forward. The old man's aura seemed to freeze the surrounding air. Only Liu Fei saw the old man. A trace of kindness and joy flashed in her eyes. She immediately greeted him and shouted sweetly, "Grandpa, why did you come here? I have been waiting for you for a long time. I just asked the front desk to contacted you. She said you were in a meeting and asked me to wait a moment." Old man Li Xianluo's eyes fell on Lin Chen and Li Zongheng behind Liu Fei. He frowned slightly and asked curiously, "Fei, what's going on?" "These two people are." Liu Fei turned her head and glanced at Lin Chen and Li Zongheng, then turned back and explained to Li Xianluo, "Oh, Grandpa, this Li Zongheng wants to cause trouble for me, but my husband is helping me solve it." As she spoke, a happy smile appeared on her face, as if she had nothing to fear as long as Lin Chen was around. Old man Li Xianluo was slightly stunned and looked at Liu Fei in disbelief. How could he have found a grandson-in-law for himself when he had only been out for a long time? Moreover, although Li Zongheng was a BCH, he was not weak in strength. Can Liu Fei's husband really protect her? Although old man Li Xianluo has no blood relationship with Liu Fei, he took her in when she was in the orphanage. For so many years, he has always loved Liu Fei as his own granddaughter. Therefore, when he suddenly heard that he had a grandson-in-law, he was stunned for a moment. However, seeing Liu Fei's proud look and the cute little tiger teeth exposed, the worry in the heart of the old man Li Xianluo was slightly relieved. He believed in Liu Fei's vision and that she could handle her own affairs well, so he nodded and said to Liu Fei, "Well, since you said so, I'm relieved. However, if your husband is defeated and his life is in danger, I will take action." At this moment, Lin Chen and Li Zongheng were ready for a duel. They stood in the center of the field, and the crowd around them stared with bated breath, waiting for the upcoming fierce battle. Li Zongheng stared at Lin Chen sternly, with a sinister smile on his lips, and said, "Brother, I will be gentler. Don't let me accidentally beat you to death." As soon as he finished speaking, his supernatural powers suddenly burst out, and a powerful aura instantly enveloped the entire venue. His body shape began to change, his muscles expanded, his skin turned black, and he instantly transformed into a huge black bear. Well, that's the demon bear transformation. It can instantly transform Li Zongheng into a black bear, with all attributes increased by 50%. It seems that Li Zongheng is going to kill him this time. People on the side shouted in shock. Everyone's eyes were focused on Li Zongheng, and they were all shocked by his powerful momentum. However, at this moment, Li Zongheng suddenly rushed towards Lin Chen. Lin Chen seemed to be fine, standing motionless, not even using his powers. People on the side began to talk. Some people thought that Lin Chen was frightened, while others thought that he was deliberately showing weakness and wanted to lure Li Zongheng into being fooled. However, just as everyone was guessing, a loud pop sound came. Li Zongheng was thrown to the ground like a strawberry bear toy, and a huge crater was made. After Li Zongheng transformed into a black bear, he weighed at least several hundred kilograms. However, at this moment, he was lying lightly on the ground, motionless. This scene is really surprising. What's even more shocking is that no one saw Lin Chen take action. They only saw Li Zongheng rushing towards Lin Chen, and then flew out the next second. Chapter 103 Killing Tower. If there were still people who despised Lin Chen just now and regarded him as a pretty face, then now, the contempt in these people's hearts has been replaced by shock, and they feel ashamed of their superficiality and arbitrariness. Li Zongheng, What does this name mean in the Dragnet organization? He is the youngest squadron leader in the organization and one of those elites expected to be promoted to captain. His strength and arrogance are all based on his unparalleled achievements and status. He was once a popular candidate on Chen Lili's candidate list. With unlimited future and possibilities, his arrogance and self-confidence are all well founded. But what about now? This powerful man who once made countless people fear him was lying on the ground, blood spilled from his mouth, and he seemed to have lost consciousness. What's even more shocking is that no one knows how Lin Chen took action. They only saw Li Zongheng rushing towards Lin Chen. And then he fell heavily to the ground, as if he was hit by an invisible force. This scene was a spiritual shock to everyone present. They looked at Lin Chen, their eyes full of awe and curiosity. What kind of strength does this man have? What kind of existence is he? For the girls present, Lin Chen at this moment was simply the perfect male god in their hearts in this doomsday era. Who doesn't want to find a man who is handsome, strong, and considerate? But such a man is even rarer than the rich, handsome man. Before the end they looked at Lin Chen, their eyes shining like stars, as if they had been deeply attracted to him. You actually found this man, but you have a lot of love rivals. Li Xianluo said jokingly, but he was thinking in his heart that he didn't expect that a person with mental powers that could only come out of millions of people would actually be met by him. This time he had to seize it well, at least to find some face in front of the Xianluo. Otherwise, the so-called person in charge would be too weak. It's okay. Having many love rivals proves that I am a good man. By the way, I already have more than a dozen good sisters. Liu Fei said calmly, but there was no jealousy in her eyes yet. You're right. Wait, you said he has more than a dozen women? Li Xianluo said lightly, and then suddenly realized that it didn't seem to be the case. How come Liu Fei became so open-minded when she went out for a trip? You know, she used to be a very possessive girl, but now she has become like this. Therefore, Li Xianluo also felt a sense of respect when he looked at Lin Chen. On the court, Lin Chen's eyes were fixed on Li Zongheng, who was struggling painfully on the ground. The fresh fragrance exhaled from Li Zongheng's mouth mixed with the surrounding dust, forming a miserable picture. His mind seemed a little confused, and he had obviously suffered a big blow. Lin Chen looked at him condescendingly, and asked in a calm but coercive tone, "Do you want to fight again?" Captain Li. However, before Li Zongheng could respond, Chen Qiu suddenly shouted, "Fight, we must fight. Even if it is for Liu Fei, we must fight again." Although Li Zongheng on the ground was seriously injured, he was not stupid. He clearly knew the strength gap between himself and Lin Chen, especially when he couldn't even see the opponent's moves clearly. How could he dare to continue fighting? So, he endured the pain and said with difficulty, "No, I won't come. I give up." Hearing Li Zongheng's surrender, Chen Qiu's face showed a mixture of disappointment and anger. He shouted, "No, Captain Li. If we lose, Liu Fei will be this kid's. Are you willing to do it?" Li Zongheng glared at Chen Qiu and said angrily, "Aren't you willing to come up and try it yourself?" When Chen Qiu heard this, he was immediately speechless. He knew Li Zongheng's strength well, so naturally he did not dare to challenge Lin Chen easily. He could only shake his head helplessly, sighing secretly in his heart. Lin Chen looked at this scene with a faint smile on his face. He looked around and said loudly, "Whether you want to fight again or not, I will wait for you here, but I have something to say. Liu Fei is my woman. You'd better give up that idea as soon as possible, otherwise, I will see you. I'll beat you one at a time until I beat you down, but before you are beaten down by me, you have to beat up the thug I just hired." Li Zongheng. After saying these words, Lin Chen turned around and walked towards Liu Fei. His eyes quickly found the beautiful figure in the crowd, as well as the immortal old man beside her. When Liu Fei saw Lin Chen coming, a bright smile appeared on her face. She introduced, "Lin Chen, this is my grandfather Li Xiaoyao. He is a Xianluo." Lin Chen was slightly startled. He didn't expect that this old man was actually Liu Fei's grandfather, and he was also a powerful Xianluo. He immediately calmed down and saluted respectfully, "Hello Li Xianluo, my name is Lin Chen." "Hello, young man, the battle just now was good. I am also lucky. I was able to see a second battle between people with mental powers while I was still alive," the old man said calmly. Xianluo also knows about people with mental powers?" Lin Chen asked doubtfully. Seeing that the old man and Lin Chen were chatting happily, Liu Fei directly interrupted, "There are too many people here, let's find a place to talk." Lin Chen and the old man nodded in agreement. In Xianluo's office, Li Xianluo was sitting at his desk, staring at Lin Chen in front of him with burning eyes. The more he looked at this young man, the happier he felt. As a member of the Xianluo organization, he naturally had a high appreciation for talents with outstanding abilities, so He actually made a cup of fragrant tea for Lin Chen himself, which was an extremely rare act for him. Brother Lin Chen, Li Xianluo said pleasantly, you won't mind if I call you directly like this, right? Since you are Fei's husband, even if you mind, I, an old man, will continue to do this shamelessly. You can call me Grandpa like Fei, which will make you feel closer. However, what I care about more than these trivial matters is whether you are willing to join our Dragnet organization. Li Xianluo's attitude today can be said to be extremely approachable, and this is entirely because of Liu Fei. You know, Xianluo people are usually mysterious and eccentric beings. It is extremely difficult for ordinary people to meet them. This is also the reason why Liu Fei keeps giving Lin Chen winks. She hopes Lin Chen can seize this rare opportunity. However, Lin Chen did not respond to Li Xianluo's invitation as Liu Fei expected. He said directly, hello, Li Xianluo. I came here today not to join the Xianluo doing organization, but to come here at Liu Fei's request. To be honest, I am used to being free and don't like to be restricted by anything. Hearing Lin Chen's answer, Li Xianluo was not surprised or angry. He smiled slightly and said, it is understandable that powerful people have a little temper. What do you think of this? You go with me to place. As long as you can't pass the 5th floor of the killing tower, I will agree. You won't mention joining the Dragnet again. Although Li Xianluo seemed relaxed on the surface, he had a wishful thinking in his heart. He believed that with Lin Chen's strength and potential, it was impossible to pass through the 4th floor of the killing tower. Even now, he would have to waste a lot of energy to pass through the 5th floor. Hearing this, Lin Chen was slightly stunned. Killing tower? What is that? I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update. Chapter 104 The Dishonest Yan Luo. Liu Fei on the side heard the words killing tower, and her heart suddenly moved. She is well aware of the power of this killing tower and also knows the intentions of her grandfather Li Xianluo. This old man was indeed cunning. He actually wanted to use the killing tower to force Lin Chen to join the Dragnet organization. The 5th floor of the killing tower is a level that only Xianluo level experts can touch. The killing tower is divided into 7 floors. With each floor you go up, the zombies or mutated creatures you face increase exponentially. Otherwise, why? Long Chengxi, Long Xianluo, the most powerful force in the Dragon Kingdom, could only reach the 6th level. It seemed that Lin Chen had to get caught in a dragnet today, so Liu Fei took the initiative to explain. Lin Chen, the killing tower is a virtual space to test your strength. You can use your powers in it without worrying about hurting other people. When Lin Chen heard this, he nodded lightly and said, then let's go for the test. Liu Fei and the old man looked at each other and smiled, secretly admiring Lin Chen's courage and courage. Then, they took Lin Chen towards the direction of the killing tower. Along the way, because Lin Chen's instant kill of Li Zongheng had spread throughout the organization, everyone was full of curiosity and expectations for him. They all talked about Lin Chen's strength and appearance, and wanted to have a glimpse of this new strong man. The beautiful girls who originally came to watch the excitement heard that Lin Chen had a handsome face that was not inferior to that of celebrities, and they didn't believe it. But when they saw Lin Chen clearly, they were shocked and speechless. Is this Lin Chen? The handsome guy who instantly killed Li Zongheng? A beautiful girl exclaimed. Does he really have the level of a level 6 superpower? How can he be so strong at such a young age? Another beautiful girl asked doubtfully. Level 6? I don't think so. Even if he is a level 6 superpower, Li Zongheng has never fought before. But have you noticed? From the beginning to the end, we have not seen how Lin Chen took action. I suspect that he at least it's a level 7 superpower. A pretty girl with some knowledge analyzed. Level 7? Or level 8? I don't care about this. I just want to say, how can he be so handsome? Just based on his appearance, I feel that he is definitely not bad in that regard, even better than me. A man with an unrestrained personality, the beautiful girl said boldly. I suspect you are driving, but I have no evidence. However, this man is handsome and powerful. How come he found Liu Fei? In what way am I inferior to Liu Fei? Is it because my butt is smaller, or because my pay is smaller? What can I say? I also have a lot of fans on Douyin, and the number of people chasing me can reach the continent of Europa. Another beautiful girl said. Not to be outdone, it's because you don't understand Lin Chen as well as Liu Fei. Look at them intertwining their fingers while walking. Their relationship is not ordinary. A beautiful girl with keen observation said. Is that okay? Look at Lin Chen's eyes. And you want to do it to Liu Fei right away. I think only I can bear such a great thing. A confident and beautiful girl said, don't worry, Lin Chen is mine. Why can you be the only one to bear the pressure? Another beautiful girl said, unconvinced, yes, Jimmy, Lin Chen belongs to everyone, not just to Liu Fei. At worst, I can be my sister. A beautiful girl suggested, you sluts, I don't want to talk about you. Yesterday I liked Li Jinxing, and today I like Lin Chen. Unlike me, I like them both. A relatively sensible beautiful girl said, wait a minute, are you talking about Li Jinxing, the candidate appointed by Chen Lili? At such a young age, he is actually a super genius with level 7 powers, asked a beautiful girl. Li Jinxing? Is that the super genius who became a level 5 psychic at the age of 18, a level 7 psychic at the age of 30, and then completed thousands of tasks without any accidents in 12 years? Oh my god, I almost killed myself. The male idol forgot. Sorry, male idol Lin Chen, although you are handsome, you are not necessarily better than Li Jinxing, so I can only love the mature Li Jinxing first. When you grow up, I will love you again. Another beautiful girl said in confusion. Lin Chen followed Chen Lili, and the elevator door slowly opened after a soft sound, revealing the entrance to the killing tower. He wanted to talk more to Liu Fei, but was stopped by Chen Lili's stern gaze. He could only helplessly watch Liu Fei and other bystanders waiting in the hall. They quickly passed through the corridors and arrived at a secret room deep in the killing tower. Under the dim light, a black helmet lay there quietly, exuding a mysterious and solemn atmosphere. That's the key to getting into the kill tower test. Chen Lili's voice echoed in the secret room. He handed the helmet to Lin Chen and explained the use of this mysterious tool in detail. It will bring your consciousness into virtual space that is no different from the real world, restoring all details one-to-one. So, you don't have to be nervous, just relax and follow my instructions. Lin Chen took the helmet, took a deep breath, put it tightly on his head, and then lay down on the soft sofa. As the helmet was activated, his consciousness gradually blurred, and a strange feeling came to his heart, as if he had traveled through a tunnel of time and space. When he opened his eyes again, what came into view was a majestic steel city. Towering buildings, intricate roads and endless crowds of people constitute a virtual world full of futuristic technology. However, what surprised him even more was that in the center of this steel city stood a huge tower exuding strong murderous aura. The killing tower. This is the virtual space of the killing tower. Chen Lili's voice sounded behind Lin Chen. He turned around and found that he was standing next to him with a smile. Now, it's time for us to see the real killing tower. They continued to move forward and finally came to the legendary killing tower. This tower is tall and majestic, exuding a suffocating sense of oppression and strong murderous aura. Lin Chen felt his heartbeat speed up. However, at this moment, his message suddenly appeared on the killing tower. Name, Lin Chen's X, male identity, none. Killing tower level 1. And next to Lin Chen, information about Chen Lili also appeared. Name, Li Xiao's X, male identity, Chen Lili. Killing tower level 54. When Lin Chen saw such a scene, he was shocked. His level in the killing tower was 1, but why was Li Xiao a Chen Lili? 54. What's going on with this killing tower level? Lin Chen, why are your eyes so straight? I thought you were looking at some big European beauty with a big A. Chen Lili joked, but to Lin Chen's ears, it felt strange. Chapter 105. Why are they all disgusting and dirty? Goblin? Ahem. Chen Lili, won't you explain to me the level of this killing tower? Lin Chen glanced at Chen Lili and said angrily. Chen Lili smiled slightly. He knew Lin Chen was curious about this killing tower and understood his eagerness, so he began to explain. This killing tower is divided into 7 floors. Each floor is full of dangers and challenges. There are at least 9 levels waiting for you to pass. For example, I am on the 4th level of the 5th floor. It stopped before the level and could not go any further. Since you have not passed any level yet, you are now on the 1st level, which is the starting point. Number 1 means that you have not passed any level in the killing tower. Lin Chen listened attentively and nodded to express his understanding, but then he felt a sense of surprise in his heart. Even super strong men like Chen Lili can only break through to the 5th floor. One can imagine the difficulty of this killing tower. This is definitely not a trial that ordinary people can easily pass. Oh, by the way, there are some data you may be interested in. Chen Lili continued. So far, Pan Sen from the Yingjiang Kingdom has reached the 2nd level of the 6th level, ranking 1st in the world, and Long Changxi from our Dragon Kingdom has reached the 1st level of the 6th level, ranking 2nd in the world. In addition, General Mikami of the Koni Empire also reached the 9th level of the 5th level, ranking 3rd in the world. Are there any foreigners in this killing tower? Lin Chen couldn't help but be stunned when he heard this. Yes, Li Xianluo sighed. This killing tower was originally built by gathering the scientific and technological power of the world. Therefore, not only people from our Dragon Kingdom are included, but also people from other countries. Unfortunately, so far, there are not many people from our Dragon Kingdom who can be ranked at the front. When Lin Chen heard this, he looked at the towering killing tower again, and couldn't help but feel a strong shock in his heart. Before Lin Chen's thoughts had fully unfolded, a sudden voice sounded in his ears, as clear as the sound of nature. Please enter the killing tower to accept the test of the first level. Immediately afterwards, a variety of weapons and equipment instantly appeared around him, a dazzling array of everything. However, Lin Chen only took a quick glance and lost interest in these weapons and equipment. He knew that these external things were not the basis for his foothold in the killing tower. The real key lay in his own strength and wisdom. After a few seconds, the pages of those weapons and equipment gradually disappeared, as if they had never appeared. At the same time, Lin Chen felt that the surrounding space was distorted, and then he found that he had arrived on a vast plain. Lin Chen, I hope you won't disappoint me. Li Xianluo stared at the direction where Lin Chen disappeared, his heart full of expectation and worry. He knew that the test in the killing tower was by no means easy, and even he could not guarantee that he could pass it easily. But Lin Chen is different. He has the potential and talent that Li Xianluo values. Maybe he can create different miracles. Just when Lin Chen was looking at the surrounding environment, the voice sounded again, echoing across the entire plain. Lin Chen, the test of each level on the first level is to kill 100 goblins besieging you within an hour! If you die in the middle, or if the number of goblins killed within an hour does not reach 100, it will be judged as a failure. After hearing the news, Lin Chen's expression changed slightly. He had never heard of creatures like goblins. Since the outbreak of the apocalypse, he had faced only ordinary zombies and mutant zombies. For this unknown creature, he couldn't help but feel a sense of vigilance and curiosity in his heart. Gg. The eerie laughter echoed across the plain, and 100 goblins were seen holding maces and with red eyes, rushing towards Lin Chen at an alarming speed. This was the first time that Lin Chen faced species other than zombies. He couldn't help but feel curious, what is the strength of these goblins? However, he also knew that no matter how strong these goblins were, he must go all out to defeat them one by one. Looking at these ferocious-looking goblins, Lin Chen's mind suddenly flashed to uncomfortable images on certain websites, which made him feel sick. However, he quickly put these distracting thoughts behind and focused on the upcoming battle. When the goblins were only 50 meters away from Lin Chen's eyes flashed, and the space behind him suddenly distorted. Then, 18 thunder guns entwined with purple sky thunder appeared out of thin air under the control of his mental power. Down. It shot towards the goblins like lightning boom. With a deafening loud noise, the thunder gun exploded among the goblins, and the purple divine thunder danced wantonly, swallowing up 100 goblins in an instant. In just a few seconds, these goblins that were still alive and kicking turned into charred black ground and disappeared into the air. Congratulations on passing the first level of the killing tower. A cold voice sounded in Lin Chen's ears. The test of the second level of the first floor of the killing tower will be next. However, before Lin Chen could take a breath, 100 goblins appeared in front of him. Again different from the first level, the weapons in the hands of these goblins have been replaced by AK-47 automatic rifles. The black muzzles of the guns exuded a cold light and were pointed directly at Lin Chen. Lin Chen was speechless for a while. Is this Nima playing with him? 100 goblins armed with AK-47s? This is simply cheating. However, he knew this was not the time to complain. He must quickly adjust his strategy to deal with this sudden change. Lin Chen didn't allow Lin Chen to think too much. The goblins had already pulled the trigger, and dense bullets poured towards him like a torrential rain. Lin Chen dodged and avoided the bullet attack, and at the same time controlled the thunder gun to stab the goblins. He knew that this battle had just begun. 10 minutes later. Congratulations on passing the third level test on the 5th floor of the killing tower. Next, you will go to the 4th level test on the 5th floor of the killing tower. Hearing such a prompt, Lin Chen was already at peace because from the first level to now, all the goblins are crazy. The only difference is that the level of goblin has increased, becoming intermediate goblin, advanced goblin, goblin king, and goblin emperor, as well as the differences in weapons, from the mace to the AK-47, to the gold version of the AK-47, to the black samurai version of the AK-47, and even in the 9th level, it only became the fire unicorn version of the AK-47. Lin Chen's mentality completely collapsed. Is this a killing tower? Or is it a goblin killer? Although goblins are indeed disgusting on some websites, Lin Chen doesn't want to meet goblins. He was thinking about what some weak and beautiful girls would do when facing goblins. Is it to be captured without mercy, or compromise? Again, I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update. Chapter 106. Whose general is this? So brave? However, the killing tower didn't seem to give Lin Chen much time to think. The next moment, a group of goblin emperors holding the Black Warrior version of AK-47 suddenly appeared, and they opened fire on Lin Chen without hesitation. Dense bullets poured out like a torrential rain, each one filled with deadly killing intent. However, facing this sudden attack, Lin Chen seemed extremely calm. His eyelids didn't even move, as if he had become accustomed to all this. With a thought in his mind, 36 thunder guns entwined with purple sky thunder appeared behind him instantly, killing the goblin emperors one by one with lightning speed. From the first level of the first level to now, Lin Chen has grown a lot without knowing it. The number of thunder guns he can control with his mental power is increasing, from 18 at the beginning to now being able to easily control 36. This is not only a change in quantity, but also an advancement and leap in his strength. Lin Chen knew that his current strength was no longer what it used to be. It is no exaggeration for him to say that even when facing level 9 superpowers, he is still capable of fighting, and may even surpass them. After half an hour of fierce fighting, Lin Chen finally broke the glorious record left by Pan Sen, the #1 fighter in Yingjiang. At this moment, he seemed to be standing on top of the peak, overlooking the countless challengers below. The joy of victory surged into his heart, but his steps did not stop. In order to continue to challenge his limits, Lin Chen chose to continue to challenge without hesitation. He knows that the difficulty of each level will increase exponentially, but he is fully prepared to meet more difficult challenges in the next level. He still faced goblins holding AK-47s, but the difference was that the strength of these goblins had undergone earth-shaking changes. Not only do they have more powerful attack power, but their defense power and vitality are also extremely amazing. Such a goblin would be a crushing presence in any level, enough to scare away countless challengers. However, for Lin Chen, who is already red-eyed, these were no longer problems. Relying on his strong strength and superb combat skills, he was able to pass the 3rd and 4th levels of the 6th level one after another until the 9th level was completely cleared. Finally, when Lin Chen successfully stepped onto the 7th floor, the entire killing tower was shaken. This kind of vibration shook even the headquarters building of the Dragnet organization. Outside the virtual space, what happened? Was there an earthquake? It feels a bit like it. I don't think I've ever experienced an earthquake before. Why don't I feel like it's an earthquake? It feels like a super strong person has been born. What super strong person? Mr. Long is not organizing today. He went out early. The moment Lin Chen stepped into the 7th floor of the killing tower, he was surprised to find that the test he originally expected had disappeared. Instead, a huge spaceship came into view. Is this also a test? Lin Chen was full of doubts. He remembered that Li Xianluo had never mentioned that there would be such a scene on the 7th floor. However, he also thought that no one had ever successfully reached the 7th floor, so even if he wanted to ask Li Xianluo for confirmation, the latter might know nothing. Just as Lin Chen was trying to clear his head, he was suddenly pulled out of the virtual space by force, just like the game was suddenly disconnected. He was sweating profusely, and his heart was filled with confusion. Seeing Lin Chen's pale face, Li Xianluo was secretly happy. He finally found a young man with potential, which undoubtedly gained him a lot of face in front of other Xianluo. Although Lin Chen only spent more than half an hour in the killing tower, Li Xianluo knew that he was still young and had unlimited possibilities in future. He believed that given time, Lin Chen would be able to surpass himself. However, Lin Chen didn't want to break Li Xianluo's fantasy. He frowned slightly and said vaguely, "Not bad." Almost he didn't want to directly point out that he had actually broken the record of Li Xianluo and the so-called Dragon Kingdom's #1 combat power. Hearing Lin Chen's answer, Li Xianluo laughed proudly. He mistakenly thought that Lin Chen had not made much progress, so he comforted him. "It's okay, kid. I only entered the 2nd level the first time. When you reach my age, I'm afraid you can enter the 5th level." Lin Chen didn't say much, but silently followed Li Xianluo out of the killing tower. However, their appearance attracted everyone's disgust and ridicule. Everyone thought that Lin Chen's time in the killing tower was too short, and it was impossible for him to achieve any decent results. Chen Qiu in the crowd even seized this opportunity and ridiculed Lin Chen. It's a pity that Liu Fair, One of the 4 beauties in the dignified dragnet actually fell in love with such a waste. If you say that I am a waste, then he is a waste among wastes. Hearing Chen Qiu's ridicule, Liu Fei immediately stood up to defend Lin Chen. How did you say that? Chen Qiu, do you still want to run 100 laps again? However, she was also confused about Lin Chen's results. She knew that Lin Chen's strength could at least reach the 3rd level, but why did he come out so quickly? So what happened? Liu Fei's heart was full of doubts and uneasiness. Fair, even if I run 100 or 10,000 laps now, you wouldn't think that Lin Chen would be the first to reach the top, right? Chen Qiu said in a strange tone. It's weird, even if Lin Chen is a bad guy, at least you can see his ranking on the top. Why don't you see him on the 1st floor? Not on the 1st floor. Not on the 2nd floor? Not on the 3rd floor either? It can't be on the 4th floor, right? 4th floor? Are you kidding me? Why didn't you say it's on the 5th floor? That's a position only Chen Lili can reach. Lin Chen is so young and still a pretty boy. Is that possible? My man won't be found up there. I don't believe he can't be found. Liu Fei said with a dissatisfied look on her face. Fair, if I weren't a good sister, I wouldn't say much. You may be really bad as a man. If it doesn't work, just change it. I think Li Jinxing is good. He made it to the 7th level of the 4th level and became a blockbuster. And the appearance is not worse than Lin Chen. The only drawback is that it is a bit short, but everything else is okay. Short? How do you know? Jimmy, don't interrupt what you are saying, or I will interrupt you. The hall was already exploding with people talking, and the noise was like a tide. There was no other reason, just because Lin Chen instantly killed their leader Li Zonghang with astonishing strength as soon as he appeared, which made everyone turn their expectant eyes to him. However, when everyone looked for Lin Chen's ranking, they could not find it. This can't help but make people start to wonder, is Li Zonghang's previous defeat a result of match fixing? Maybe Lin Chen is not as powerful as they thought. Just when Li Xianluo was about to see how Lin Chen would face this farce, he casually glanced at the top ranking above the hall. At this glance, he was stunned, and his eyes became bloodshot and red due to excitement. Then that's not true, is it? Li Xianluo's voice was trembling. Lin Chen deliberately pretended not to know and asked, what's wrong? Xianluo, you ranked first? Li Xianluo's voice was broken due to shock. Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. Someone blurted out from the side. Whose general is this? So brave? Chapter 107 Xianluo Conference. Yet, I seem to be number 1. Lin Chen nodded, with a nonchalant expression on his face. It was really mean to see Lin Chen looking so careless. Li Xianluo wanted to beat Lin Chen, but then he thought about it. This guy was ranked higher than him. How could he beat him? Moreover, Li Xianluo also suddenly realized that Lin Chen's ranking first meant that he had defeated Ying Jiang's number 1 combatant, Pan Sen, and Dragon Kingdom's number 1 combatant, Long Changxi. Such strength is difficult even for himself to match. He recalled the hardships and efforts he and Long Changxi had put in to pass the levels of the Killing Tower. It took them countless days to barely pass those levels. However, what now? However, it only took Lin Chen half an hour or an hour to complete their previous feat. Wait, Li Xianluo suddenly thought of something and immediately dialed a satellite phone. At this moment, Li Xianluo suddenly thought of something. He immediately took out his satellite phone and dialed a number. An old and impatient voice came from the other end of the phone. Lao Li, what's wrong? Do you want to be beaten? Li Xianluo ignored the other party's ridicule, but said eagerly, beat him? Hurry, come to the Dragnet headquarters immediately. If you can't come, then hold a satellite conference call, but be sure to keep it confidential. Because, our Dragnet is going to change. Long Changxi on the other end of the phone couldn't help being a little stunned when he heard Li Xianluo say this. Come to the meeting as you said, and I'm busy. When I'm done, besides, you don't know the high-level Corpse Kings and Intermediate Corpse Kings have begun to appear in some places in the Dragon Kingdom, and their strength alone is comparable to that of 7, level 8 superpower. Your ranking has been surpassed by others. Li Xianluo took a deep breath and said slowly, what? Long Changxi on the other end of the phone became furious instantly. Which country's Gisenjiao is from? Damn it, aren't the labor and management busy outside? Otherwise, I will come back and the ranking will be super high. Sorry, it's not from another country. Li Xianluo paused and continued, it's my grandson-in-law, Lin Chen. When he said this, a trace of pride flashed across his face. He seemed to have predicted Long Changxi's reaction after hearing the news. Sure enough, after a few seconds of silence on the other end of the phone, Long Changxi suddenly burst out with an earth-shattering roar, FKU. Wait for me. I want to see who your grandson-in-law is. After saying this, he hung up the phone directly. He was obviously shocked by the news and couldn't contain himself, and Li Xianluo stood there, with a hint of expectation and a proud smile on his face. At the same time, in the hall of the Killing Tower, the atmosphere changed drastically. Everyone's expressions changed faster than flipping through a book, and they all began to offer compliments to Lin Chen. After all, no one dares to offend this new Dragnet master. It is even possible that Lin Chen may take up the post of Xianluo in the future. The word Yanluo sounds simple. It is just an ordinary position, but before the doomsday breaks out, Tianluo has the power to kill first and then report. As long as it is within a reasonable range, he can do anything. Even in the whole world, not many people can control Tianluo. However, more than the awe of Lin Chen's strength, what attracted more attention was his outstanding appearance and temperament. The eyes of many beauties in the Dragnet were bright, especially when they looked at Lin Chen, which could be described as straightforward. They seemed eager to take Lin Chen as their own right away. Some even whispered that they were willing to be the younger ones. As long as Lin Chen was willing, it didn't matter even if they didn't admit it. Is this Liu Fei's husband Lin Chen? He is so handsome. If possible, I would like to be his concubine. Even if I have no status, it doesn't matter. After all, I like this kind of man who is both powerful and handsome. It's so charming. A beautiful woman couldn't help but sigh. I heard that Long Chengxi, the #1 combat force in the Dragon Kingdom, was also very handsome when he was young, but now is the age of young fresh meat, so I choose Lin Chen. As long as I can become his woman, even if I become Liu Fei's sister, I am willing to. Another beauty also expressed her thoughts without any hint of weakness. You are so shameless. You are far behind me. As long as I can get close to Lin Chen, I can do anything. Another beauty said, not to be outdone. However, as soon as she finished speaking, someone began to reveal her true identity. Just now I seem to have heard someone say that she would rather have a look from Li Jingxing than anything from Lin Chen. What now? She can do anything? You change your face too quickly. What are you talking about? I don't know Li Jingxing at all. Don't talk nonsense. Be careful. I will sue you for slander. My husband Lin Chen will be unhappy when he hears it. If he is angry, you will be miserable. Yes, the beauty quickly defended, fearing that her image would be stained in Lin Chen's heart. You've gone too far. Lin Chen's husband is mine. How can you call him casually? Do you know he only likes me? Another beauty also started to get jealous. She seemed to regard Lin Chen as her own private property and did not allow others to get involved. HMPH. Do you want to fight with me? Be careful. My husband, Lin Chen, will beat you up if he sees it. Another beautiful woman threatened. She seemed to think that as long as she mentioned Lin Chen's name, she could make the other party back down. Okay. Let's see who my husband Lin Chen will help then. The last beauty responded, not to be outdone. She seemed to be very confident in her charm and believed that Lin Chen would definitely be on her side. Li Xianluo, since I have passed the test, I will take the first step. Lin Chen glanced at the noisy hall, decided to say goodbye to Li Xianluo, and prepared to leave this place of right and wrong. However, when he left, he did not really want to leave, but adopted a strategy of retreating to advance. He had already planned in his mind that he would ask Li Xianluo for some things he needed. Seeing Lin Chen planning to leave, Li Xianluo, who had just finished making a phone call, suddenly became anxious. He was not willing to let this new master leave so easily. After all, he had half-jokingly said before that if Lin Chen couldn't pass the 4th level, he would join the Dragnet organization. But now, Lin Chen not only passed the 4th level, but also reached the 1st place with such strength. He was really worried that Lin Chen would refuse to join if he was unhappy, and they would suffer a big loss. So, Li Xianluo hurriedly stepped forward and whispered to Lin Chen, "There are too many people here, so it's not convenient to talk. How about we find a quiet place to sit? We have an important Xianluo meeting to be held later. We very much hope you can attend." He spoke carefully, for fear of offending the new master. Liu Fei happened to come over and heard Li Xianluo's words. She was shocked. Xianluo meeting? That is one of the highest level meetings in the Dragon Kingdom. Those who can participate in it are all the top experts and decision makers of the Dragon Kingdom. Now, Lin Chen was actually invited to attend the Xianluo meeting. What does this mean? This shows that Lin Chen's strength and status have been recognized by the Xianluo organization. Unfortunately, there is another secret that Li Xianluo may never know in his lifetime. Since Lin Chen could only be seen ranked in front of Ying Jiang's Pensen on the ranking list, everyone mistakenly thought that Lin Chen was only slightly stronger than Pensen, but in fact, only those who have actually entered the virtual space of the Killing Tower with Lin Chen can see his true strength. However, just as Li Xianluo was waiting expectantly for Lin Chen's answer, Lin Chen suddenly said something that stunned him on the spot. Xianluo meeting? Are there any pretty girls? Li Xianluo, Liu Fair, equals. I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow. Oh, 10 with love. 1 chapter will be added if you generate electricity. 2 chapters will be added if you make 20. There is no limit. As long as you dare to give, I will update. Chapter 108 Rampant. As soon as he finished speaking, everyone except Li Xianluo and Liu Fair were dumbfounded, and even everyone who didn't know what was happening just now was stunned. They originally thought Li Xianluo was going to say something, but he spoke so quietly. But just because he whispered, it didn't mean that Lin Chen kept quiet. Just his word Xianluo meeting? Are there any pretty girls? Were enough to shock everyone. Xianluo meeting? The people participating in the important places are all important leaders of Xianluo and Dragon Kingdom, and not just cats and dogs can participate. But why is the importance of a beautiful sister in Lin Chen's eyes more important than the Xianluo conference? That means he may have taken a liking to me. Once this idea was formed, the eyes of many female superpowers shone brightly, saying that Lin Chen might not have fallen in love with him just now, but he was too embarrassed to say it just now. Yes, that's it, and if Lin Chen knew about it, he would probably faint in bed laughing. Lin Chen saw that Liu Fair and Li Xianluo didn't seem to understand much, and deliberately said it again. Old man, I asked you? Do you have a beautiful sister? If not, I will take Liu Fair away first. But in his heart, he was waiting for Li Xianluo to speak and keep him. Wait a minute, just tell me, what will it take for you to stay and attend the Xianluo meeting? In other words, you can stay if you have a beautiful sister. Such a good relationship. In fact, all the female superpowers in our Xianluo doing are. She is as beautiful as a flower. Do you think she is? Seeing that Lin Chen wanted to leave more and more, Li Xianluo began to win over him. Anyway, if I ask the female superpowers in the organization to follow you, that's just my wishful thinking. I still don't believe how charming you are. However, what Li Xianluo didn't expect was that as soon as these words came out, the scene suddenly got out of control. Female superpowers came forward one after another, vying to show their charm to Lin Chen. Thank you. Xianluo Chengquan, a woman with a hot figure and a charming face, stood up. She said confidently, I, Liu Ruyan, think that my figure and appearance are first class. Master Lin Chen, choose me. I promise not to let you down. Immediately afterwards, another pure and lovely woman also stood up. Tianluo, Xiating, used to be the top 4 school beauties in the top middle school in the imperial capital. Not only do I have a proud figure and sweet face, but I also maintain innocence and freshness. Master Lin Chen, if you are intolerant of those vulgar things, if the woman is not interested, please choose me. Master Lin Chen, look here, the beautiful sister you want is here. I have what they have, and I have what they don't have. That is your favorite, Master Lin Chen? Little black room. Warning, Master Lin Chen, actually I can do it too, as long as your gender is so stuck, said a bald male with supernatural powers in the crowd. The scene was once very chaotic, as if it had turned into a beauty contest. Even Li Xianluo, who is well informed, couldn't help but feel shocked at this moment. He had experienced countless strong winds and waves, but the scene in front of him made him feel a little at a loss. He couldn't help but sigh in his heart. Even Long Chengxi, who was known as the most handsome man in the world, probably never enjoyed such treatment. Right, however, Li Xianluo was an experienced old man after all, and he quickly adjusted his emotions. He said smoothly, good boy, your charm is really impressive. In this case, you can attend the Xianluo meeting with me. Don't refuse anymore. As long as you are willing to participate, you can choose any of these female superpowers as long as they are willing to go with you. I will never object. Even if Long Chengxi and Xianluo come in person, they can't stop you. I'm the one talking. In fact, Lin Chen was quite satisfied to see so many female superpowers extending an olive branch now that the end is imminent. Where else can we find so many high-quality and capable women except in the Dragnet? So, he nodded and said, Li Xianluo, you misunderstood. I didn't stay here just for these beautiful sisters. You also know that I like to get closer to the organization throughout my life. At this point, he paused and seemed to be thinking about his words. Of course, motivation is also needed, right? Ha ha ha. Li Xianluo couldn't help laughing. You're a good talker. Okay, as long as you are willing to stay and attend the Xianluo meeting. As for these female superpowers, you watch to it. After speaking, he patted Lin Chen on the shoulder and turned around and walked out, signaling Lin Chen to follow him and leave the chaotic scene. Go to a quiet place and wait for others to arrive. When the girls saw Lin Chen agreeing to stay, They all gathered around him and wanted to have further contact with him. Some even directly handed over their own little cards. Lin Chen took it and saw that it actually contained their ID photos, satellite phone numbers, and photos. Take a closer look. Have to say big, run, hair, white. Indescribable words floated through my mind. Even Lin Chen, who has more than a dozen women, couldn't resist the temptation after seeing these photos. After all, this was the first time Lin Chen was handed a card, so he was still a little excited when he thought about it. In addition to being excited, Lin Chen was led to a closed conference room. The interior furnishings are simple and solemn, with a huge silver table occupying the center position, surrounded by 8 black high-backed chairs. Exuding an air of authority that cannot be underestimated, Lin Chen picked up a blade of grass casually, with a somewhat unruly look in his eyes. He looked at Li Qianluo, with a hint of impatience in his tone. Li Qianluo, how long do we have to wait before we can start? Li Qianluo raised his wrist, glanced at the exquisite watch, and replied calmly, I just got the news that some Qianluo can't be there in person. But it doesn't matter, we can start a satellite video conference. As soon as he finished speaking, several figures suddenly appeared on the remaining chairs in the conference room. They were 5 men and 1 woman. They each sat down and looked at Lin Chen. Li Qianluo smiled slightly and introduced to everyone present, everyone, this is the Lin Chen I mentioned before. He won the honor of being #1 in the world in the Killing Tower, and he is also my grandson-in-law. Although Li Qianluo's words were concise, every word was like a bombshell that aroused thousands of waves in everyone's hearts. A gray-haired old man nodded in approval. Since Mr. Li admires him so much and has been certified by the Killing Tower, there is no doubt about Lin Chen's strength and character. Let's vote. Those who agree with Lin Chen becoming Qianluo, please raise your hands. Those who disagree, don't raise your hand. As soon as he finished speaking, an old man in black robe was the first to raise his hand. Immediately afterwards, other people raised their hands to express their agreement. However, at this moment when everyone was expecting him, Lin Chen suddenly spoke. Did you choose Qianluo so hastily? You didn't even do a background check? Also, you just agreed and that's it? I haven't even said that I want to join Qianluo. As soon as he finished speaking, the heavy door of the conference room was suddenly pushed open by a force, making a dull sound. Immediately afterwards, a majestic and angry voice resounded throughout the space. Furious, Dragnet is the top organization in the Dragon Kingdom, and it is not a place where you can run wild if you want, let alone a place where you can leave at will if you want. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109. Who is the strongest on the surface? Hearing that majestic voice, Lin Chen turned his head slightly and glanced sharply at the black figure that suddenly appeared. He carefully looked at this super powerful man with extraordinary bearing, trying to find more information from him. He was dressed in a simple black robe, which looked particularly out of place in this conference room full of modern technology, but he also exuded an indescribable spirit of immortality. Although he looks older than Li Qianluo, the traces of time are not obvious on his face, and even the handsome outline of his youth can be vaguely glimpsed. Lin Chen couldn't help but secretly guess that this old man might have been a very handsome man when he was young. However, what really surprised Lin Chen was Hiang's snow-white hair. It was like the color of pure snow on the top of a snow-capped mountain, shining dazzlingly under the light. At this moment, Lin Chen deeply realized how extraordinary the old man in front of him was. Several figures were reflected on the projection in the conference room, and Li Qianluo's attitude towards him was full of respect and awe. All of this silently demonstrates the powerful strength and lofty status of Black Shadow Longzi. Why are you so angry? Don't scare my grandson-in-law. Upon seeing this, Li Qianluo quickly stepped forward to smooth things over, trying to ease the tense atmosphere. However, the Black Shadow, Long Changxi, didn't buy it. His eyes were still staring at Lin Chen, as if he wanted to see through him. Old Li, you don't need to say good things for him. I want to see what you mean. What on earth is your grandson-in-law capable of, that he doesn't even care about Qianluo's position? Facing Long Changxi's gaze in questioning, Lin Chen seemed unusually calm. I appreciate your kindness, Mr. Li, but it seems that Mr. Long intends to test my strength personally. HMPH. Boy, you do have some self-awareness. Long Changxi snorted coldly and said, but I won't show mercy just because you are Li Qianluo's grandson-in-law. If you want to gain my approval, you must show your true ability. As soon as he finished speaking, A powerful aura suddenly burst out from Long Changxi's body and instantly filled the entire conference room. Feeling the power and oppression of this aura, everyone present could not help but change their color. However, Lin Chen still maintained a calm demeanor in the face of this sudden pressure. Is this the strength of a 9th level superpower? It's really extraordinary. If that's the case, let me learn from Mr. Long's clever tricks. As he spoke, he slowly stood up and looked firmly at Long Changxi. Good. Gutsy. I like it. Long Changxi burst out laughing when he saw this. But I won't give in just because you are young. If you want to win, I have to use all my strength. This is natural. Please enlighten Mr. Long. Lin Chen cupped his fists and saluted, then got ready to fight. Because the strength of Long Changxi and Lin Chen was too terrifying, Li Xianluo only dared to arrange for the two of them to enter the virtual space to fight. Firstly, it was to protect the two of them from being injured. They were only injured in the virtual space and not really injured. Secondly, under the attack of the two men, the Dragnet headquarters may have been destroyed accidentally. When everyone at the headquarters heard that Lin Chen was going to fight Long Changxi, they all showed expressions of disbelief. They knew Lin Chen was very strong, but they didn't expect him to be that strong. After all, everyone who has entered Xianluo Earthly Net knows that Li Xianluo can only be regarded as the weakest Xianluo, but Long Changxi is the resounding number one Xianluo. So one by one they came to the headquarters hall, where the big screen was about to show the video of Lin Chen and Long Changxi's battle. Have you heard? It's the newcomer Liu Fei brought back, and he actually wants to challenge Long Xianluo. Some people were talking excitedly. You mean Lin Chen, who just won first place in the killing tower? Isn't he crazy? Why do I feel like he is cheating? How could he have the guts to challenge Long Xianluo? Some expressed doubts. Wow. This man is so courageous. He is indeed the man I like. Even if he loses this game, I will always support him and love him, a female superpower said with stars in her eyes. Damn it. This Lin Chen is so popular. It seems I have to act quickly and use my great sense to snatch him away. Some people are beginning to gear up and prepare to join this battle for Lin Chen. In the vast virtual space, two strong men faced off. Long Changxi, the first Xianluo in the Dragnet that has gone through countless years, stared deeply at the young man in front of him. Lin Chen, he said calmly, I have lived for so many years, and this is the first time I have fought against such a young superpower. I hope your strength can match your words. Lin Chen's face was expressionless, but in his heart he was thinking about Long Changxi's wish. If possible, could he bring all the female superpowers in the Xianluo Doing organization back to Luo City? The ones with poor quality can be used as maids or guards. At least they will be more useful than putting them in the Dragnet group. Boy, I'm talking to you, what are you thinking about? Long Changxi saw Lin Chen thinking about something, and thought he was thinking about how to fight with her. Oh, has it started? Then let's fight. Lin Chen shouted as he finished speaking. 36 thunder guns entwined with Zixio divine thunder suddenly appeared behind him. These thunder guns seemed to have spirituality. Under Lin Chen's control, they struck at an alarming speed in the direction where Long Changxi might be hiding. When Long Changxi saw this, he laughed happily. He subconsciously dodged a thunder gun that penetrated his vitals, and at the same time showed his strength not to be outdone. A silver sword appeared out of thin air in his hand, carrying his unique domain skills, and launched a fierce attack on Lin Chen. Boom! The attacks from both sides collided fiercely in the air, erupting with a deafening loud noise. Then, the two intertwined like lightning and started a thrilling fierce battle. With every fight, Lin Chen clearly felt that his strength was rapidly improving in a duel with a strong man like Long Changxi. His progress was even faster than before in the killing tower. The same feeling also emerged in Long Changxi's heart. He hasn't faced such an evenly matched opponent in many years. Even when he faced Pen Sen, the strongest player in Eagle Sauce, he never felt such intense pleasure as he does now. I don't know how long the battle lasted, but neither Lin Chen nor Long Changxi made any mistakes. The two looked at each other from a distance, as if they wanted to say something. Lin Chen, you are good, really good. However, since we can't tell the winner, let's draw. Long Changxi was the first to speak. Mr. Long, you are indeed very strong. You are worthy of being the strongest on the surface of the Dragon Kingdom before the end. You are a respectable opponent. Lin Chen stared at Long Changxi, then turned around and said, but since you are a strong man, I should use a strong man's method to defeat you. I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update. Chapter 110 ranked in Xianluo. What's the meaning? Long Changxi's expression suddenly changed, and he looked at Lin Chen in front of him in disbelief. Lin Chen explained calmly, I just competed with Mr. Long, and I feel that I have improved a lot. So, I'm sorry, Mr. Long. Now I want to test where my limit is. As soon as he finished speaking, a black figure that looked similar to him suddenly appeared behind Lin Chen. This black shadow also held 36 thunder guns entangled with Zixio divine thunder, exuding a powerful aura. Lin Chen and the black shadow moved suddenly, as if tearing apart the space, and disappeared instantly, leaving only a suffocating and oppressive aura. When Long Changxi saw this, he clenched the silver sword in his hand without hesitation and rushed forward. Every lightning-quick counterattack he made was precise and sharp, but in the confrontation with Lin Chen and his shadow, he gradually fell into disadvantage even with the blessing of his own domain skills. He felt that his speed could not keep up with the opponent's, and his strength was somewhat overwhelming. Finally, under the penetration of a strange thunder gun, Long Changxi's body fell down weakly like a pricked hedgehog. Lin Chen, in the lobby of the Dragnet headquarters building. Everyone stared at this scene in stunned silence. They couldn't believe that the strongest person in the Dragnet was defeated by Lin Chen. However, Lin Chen has a very keen insight into the world. After walking out of the virtual space, he first broke the silence and spoke humbly, Everyone, today is Mr. Long's show. Otherwise, how could a young man like me dare to compete with Mr. Long? This competition has also benefited me a lot. If possible, I hope to have more opportunities to compete with Mr. Long and many other masters in the future. Learn from each other. Hearing this, Mr. Long on the side flashed a hint of appreciation in his eyes. He did not expect that this young man was not proud and complacent because he had the upper hand. Instead, he was so humble and polite. He was indeed a talented person. So, he gently patted Lin Chen's shoulder and said with a smile, Lin Xianluo is too modest. Everyone must have seen clearly the battle between me and Lin Xianluo just now. I hope everyone can learn from Lin Xianluo's perfect movement and decisive tactics. As soon as Mr. Long finished speaking, the crowd exploded. Everyone was talking a lot, all speculating about the meaning of Mr. Long calling Lin Chen Lin Xianluo. Could it be said that the structure of the Xianluo Doing organization has changed, from the original 7 Xianluo to 8 Xianluo? This is big news that shocked the world. You must know that every Xianluo born is an existence that can make Yingjiang fearful. Lin Chen glanced at Long Changxi, who was smiling evilly, and then at Li Xianluo beside him, and gave him a wild look to signal him to hurry over and announce something more important. But Li Xianluo couldn't move, as if he was stuck with 502 glue. Lin Chen had no choice but to stand up and say to everyone, Tianluo has promised me one thing just now, that is, I can take away the girl I like. Of course, if a male compatriot wants to follow me, I will not refuse, but he can only be my subordinate. After all, I am a dedicated man. When Long Changxi heard this, he almost couldn't help laughing. Isn't this kid too direct? And when did he agree to take people away? It's not Li Xiaoyao who makes his own decisions, right? Although Long Changxi thought so in his heart, it was not easy to refute Lin Chen's face on the spot. At this time, neither Xianluo spoke, which made everyone speculate. Someone couldn't help but stood up. Husband Lin Chen, what do you think of me? Although I have no merits, I have a resounding name. My name is Zhu Yang Danese. When Lin Chen heard this name, he had to take a look at it. Sure enough, this name is indeed very white. No, this name is indeed very smooth. Zhu Yang. Everyone followed the reputation to see who this so-called Yang was. After seeing it clearly, many male superpowers almost couldn't hold back their nosebleeds. I saw a beautiful woman with a hot figure and a beautiful face, blinking her big eyes and looking at Lin Chen with an expectant expression on her face. What the hell? Zhu Yang? Is it the Zhu Yang family, one of the 4 major families in the imperial capital? But she is obviously a cold and intellectual big sister in Dragnet. Why did she become like this when she met Lin Chen? It was because of her that I entered the Dragnet. I have always regarded her as my big sister and hope she can lead me to progress. If she follows Lin Chen, then I will continue to support her. She is my goddess. She is as cold as an iceberg in front of others. But she becomes so gentle and lovely in front of Lin Chen. Isn't the contrast too big? If Lin Chen takes her away, can he also take me away? I don't have any idea. Just let me be a guard and watch her from a distance. A male with supernatural powers said with expectation. TCH. What's the use of being a guard? If you dare to call her wife, do you dare to agree? Another male with superpowers mocked disdainfully. It doesn't matter whether I have a wife or not. What's important is that if I can marry Zhu Yang, I'm willing to give up everything I have now. Another male with supernatural powers said with longing. However, His words were immediately refuted by others. Damn! How dare you think that? I don't know whether it was because Yang was too good at it, or because the male with superpowers was completely demented, but for a while, the whole crowd was filled with discussions and disputes. Both Xianluo, Long Changxi and Li Xiaoyao were stunned. Is Lin Chen so charming? Although he is indeed handsome, there are still people who are willing to follow such a simple and crude request for a woman, and more than one or two. At least there are 10 of them now, to be honest. Long Changxi and Li Xiaoyao were looking at each other at this moment, as if they had already understood each other's thoughts. Long Changxi coughed twice, trying to break the delicate silence. Ahem, Lin Xianluo, why don't we call it a day? He said slowly. I don't care about the girls you just fell in love with, the girls from the Yang family, the girls from the Lin family, and many other families, but can we stop it in moderation? I'm really afraid that things will get out of hand. Hearing Long Changxi's somewhat melancholy words, Lin Chen couldn't say anything more. After all, this is someone else's territory, and it's really not good to take away too many people at once. Moreover, due to the restrictions imposed by his father, the god of creation, Lin Chen would not be able to fight in 2 or more battles. Thinking of this, Lin Chen took a deep breath and said, everyone, Lin has important matters to attend to today. Let's call it a day. However, just before he finished speaking, a captivating voice suddenly came over. Master Lin, what's wrong? Don't you dare to continue? Believe me, if you don't see me today, you will regret it. This voice echoed in the headquarters building for a moment like the sound of nature, but it caused even greater waves in the hearts of many male supernatural beings. Their eyes were blurry, as if their souls had been taken away by the sound. Seeing this scene, Lin Chen and Long Changxi were also slightly shocked. They exchanged glances with each other, wondering who this mysterious figure was to be able to arrive before others arrive, and to be able to mesmerize people with his voice alone. This kind of strength should not be underestimated. Chapter 111, Elf Princess. The next moment, a crisp cold wind suddenly cut through the air. Following the trajectory of the wind, an extremely elegant figure slowly stepped into everyone's sight. Her appearance is like a fairy under the moonlight, mysterious and fascinating. This sudden beauty, wearing a dark purple hanfu, seemed to have stepped out of an ancient scroll. The graceful figure under the hanfu is like a ripe peach, both mature and exuding alluring sweetness, and the charm she inadvertently revealed, just a glance, was enough to make all the men present fall in love with her and fall completely into her deep eyes. Lin Chen's eyes unconsciously fell on this beauty, and his calm heart was broken in an instant. Her perfect face is as flawless as jade, like a masterpiece that has been tempered for thousands of times, and her graceful figure is like a match made in heaven, with every part exuding feminine beauty and charm. Lin Chen's heart trembled involuntarily at this moment. If he hadn't seen it with his own eyes, Lin Chen would simply not have been able to imagine that such a perfect woman existed in the world. Her appearance seems to have redefined the word beauty in her. Lin Chen saw the charm, softness and strength of women. These elements were perfectly blended together to form an irresistible existence. At this moment, Lin Chen finally understood why some people would do impulsive things for women facing such a beautiful woman. No matter how calm and rational a person is, he will inevitably be attracted by her charm and be moved by her. And now Lin Chen deeply understands this feeling. Your Royal Highness, your presence here is truly a blessing. Long Changxi respectfully called from the side. Hearing this, a trace of doubt flashed in Lin Chen's eyes. Involuntarily, Your Highness. He looked around and noticed that since the appearance of the so-called princess, the eyes of everyone around him had become extremely pious, as if everything was eclipsed by her light. Compared with her, even the daughters of the Yang family and the Lin family, who had attracted much attention before, seemed to have lost their luster at this moment. Her Royal Highness the princess raised her head slightly and her eyes fell on Long Changxi. Her thin lips were raised slightly, revealing a charming smile. This moment of amorous feelings actually made Lin Chen beside him feel a little distracted. He secretly marveled in his heart that the charm of Her Royal Highness the princess was indeed extraordinary. Under the smile of Her Royal Highness the princess, Long Changxi secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He realized that he had not provoked the noble highness. So he quickly followed her words and said, wherever the princess wants to go, no one dares to stop her. Mr. Long really understands the truth. Her Royal Highness the princess nodded with satisfaction, and then turned her beautiful eyes to Lin Chen. She looked the young handsome boy up and down, and a hint of admiration flashed in her eyes. But I am more interested in this young handsome boy than you. To be able to achieve such an achievement at such a young age, he is truly a leader among the younger generation of our clan. Hearing this, Long Changxi couldn't help but feel a little embarrassed. He knew very well that his status in the heart of Her Royal Highness was far inferior to that of this young brother, but even so, he still did not dare to show any slights. He introduced with a smile, This little brother's name is Lin Chen, and he is the 8th Xianluo in our Xianluo doing organization. He's extremely powerful, and even if I want to win against him, it will take a lot of effort. Oh, is it so? Her Royal Highness the Princess blinked her long eyelashes and chuckled. I'm afraid that's not how they were introduced. I feel that this handsome young man is stronger than you. Hearing Her Royal Highness the Princess praise him so much, Lin Chen was no longer silent. He said directly, this young lady must be Her Royal Highness, right? I am Lin Chen. Nice to meet you. Mr. Long is indeed better than me. This is a fact. So young lady, please don't embarrass him, Your Highness. Please don't be offended by this little brother's ignorance. Also, please call me Your Highness, not little sister. Seeing Lin Chen talking so frankly to Her Royal Highness, Long Changxi was frightened, fearing that he would offend this noble highness. However, unexpectedly, Her Royal Highness the Princess, who is usually decisive and aloof, was not angry at this moment. Instead, she explained to Lin Chen, it's okay, it's okay. He may not know what's going on here. In fact, no one else can hear what the three of us are saying now. The three of us talking? Isn't this sight? At this point, Lin Chen suddenly discovered a strange phenomenon. He looked around and found that whether it was Li Xianluo, Liu Fair, or everyone else present, they were standing motionless as if the pause button had been pressed. Their eyes were empty and lifeless, as if they had lost their souls. It turns out that what was called just now was not piety, but that they were immobilized. Did you find it? Her Royal Highness the Princess asked softly with a playful smile on her face. This is a domain of our clan. As long as I want, I can make everyone within 50 meters restricted by my domain. So, you can see, only the three of us can talk here. Our clan field. Hearing what Her Royal Highness the Princess said, Lin Chen was stunned. Apparently he didn't know much about the so-called field from her appearance. Lin Chen blinked blankly and took another look. In an instant, he immediately opened the system to check the suspicious princess. Name, Ivanka. Name, Elvilana. Race, elf. Gender, female. Age, 220, approximately equal to 22 human years. Quality, peerless elegance. Occupation, Princess Eagle Sauce. Appearance 99, body 99, power, S level. Field, absolute field, level 3, overall rating 99. Her Royal Highness the Princess licked her red lips gently, her eyes locked tightly on Lin Chen, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. What? Are you interested in the field of our elves? As long as you are willing to marry into our clan, the children we give birth to will most likely inherit and strengthen such field skills, and even surpass our achievements in the future. Hearing this, Lin Chen frowned slightly and his thoughts were racing. However, before he had time to sort out his thoughts, he was shocked by Her Highness the Princess's earth-shattering words. Yi and Long Changxi next to him both stared at Princess Owl with wide eyes in disbelief. They never expected that this sudden elf princess would say such words. Although Lin Chen didn't know much about the elves, he felt an inexplicable interest in Princess Owl, who had lived for 220 years but was still only 22 years old as a human. However, what Lin Chen didn't know was that Long Changxi knew the rules of the elves very well. He knew that the elves would never intermarry with foreigners, because once they entered adulthood, the so-called 220 years old, their strength would not be weaker than that of level 9 superpowers. Not to mention the elf princess in front of her, her strength must be far beyond this level. Therefore, after hearing Her Royal Highness the Princess's proposal, Lin Chen couldn't help but take a deep breath and try to calm down the shock in his heart. He said with some doubts and determination, I have to admit that your terms are indeed very tempting, but dear princess, I'm really sorry. I don't like getting married. I'm sorry, I can't accept it. I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update. Chapter 112, Underground World. Hearing Lin Chen's response, the elf princess was stunned. Even Long Changxi on the side secretly gave Lin Chen a thumbs up and made a 6 sign. In human society, rejection may not be a big deal, but when the object of rejection is a noble elven race, the situation becomes a little more subtle. On the entire blue star, although humans are numerous, they do not have an advantage in strength compared with some powerful races, such as the elves. Human power pales in comparison. Therefore, when Lin Chen expressed his attitude so directly, the elf princess couldn't help but feel a little surprised and dissatisfied. She frowned slightly and thought to herself, this handsome guy doesn't seem to understand the situation clearly. I'm informing him, not asking for his opinion. However, she did not have an immediate attack, but maintained her aristocratic elegance and grace. Long Changxi on the side noticed the subtle change in the atmosphere and quickly explained, "Your Highness, Lin Chen is still young, and his understanding of our Blue Star and Elf tribe is not deep enough. Please consider that he is new here and don't argue with him. I will find an opportunity to teach this ignorant boy a lesson." After hearing Long Changxi's explanation, Her Royal Highness Princess Elvi, although her dissatisfaction had not completely dissipated, she still gave Long Changxi enough face and did not pursue the matter further. She looked at Lin Chen curiously and asked, "Do you know our elves?" "Elves?" Lin Chen suddenly became interested. He had previously identified the so-called elf princess through the system, but he knew nothing about the specific situation and historical background of the elf tribe. He would love to take this opportunity to learn more about this mysterious race. Seeing this, Long Changxi suggested, "Your Highness, why don't we talk somewhere else? My fellow superpowers can't stand your skills in this field for too long." He pointed at a building not far away and said, "Just go there." Elvi nodded and agreed to the proposal. As soon as she finished speaking, the domain skills stopped and everyone returned to normal. Lin Chen, Long Changxi and Elvi quickly disappeared from the spot. The next moment, they appeared in a magnificent underground city. The scene here is completely different from the headquarters building on the ground, full of mystery and unknown atmosphere. Lin Chen was surprised to find that the scale and complete facilities of this underground city far exceeded his imagination. He even suspected that even if the headquarters building on the ground was built 10 times, it might not be able to compete with this underground city. This is the real strength of the dragnet, right? Lin Chen exclaimed. Long Changxi smiled proudly and said, "Little friend Lin Chen, don't be too shocked. After all, the dragnet has been able to stand in the world for so many years without falling. It is quite powerful. I'm afraid we need to add an above-ground world to that world, instead of the underground world." Her Royal Highness the Princess said. Ahem, Princess Elvi's words make sense. After all, our Dragon Kingdom and the Elf tribe have a history of friendly coexistence for tens of thousands of years. Hearing this, Lin Chen also understood that Long Changxi's previous attitude towards the Elf Princess was not entirely out of fear or flattery, but was based on respect and maintenance of the friendly relationship between humans and elves. He realized that his previous thoughts were a bit one-sided. Afterwards, the three of them walked towards the depths of the underground city together. As soon as he stepped into this mysterious realm, Lin Chen's eyes were attracted by the bustling scene on the street. There are not only humans traveling through it, but also many elves. They coexist harmoniously with humans and have long been accustomed to each other. However, what surprised Lin Chen was that the appearance and temperament of the elves were exceptionally outstanding. I don't know whether it's because of their racial advantages or their unique talents. They have beautiful looks and slim figures. No matter what kind of clothes they wear, they can show the feeling of the innate holy body of the deceased. This kind of charm seemed to be innate, and Lin Chen couldn't help but sigh that the elves were indeed a hot commodity at this moment. Princess Elvi joked, "Lin Chen, what's the matter? Are you also interested in our elven aunt? The person you just saw is 420 years old, which is about 42 years old when converted to human age. I didn't expect you to be the kind of person who likes people older than you. No wonder you have to like this one of mine." Lin Chen was a little embarrassed by Elvi's words. He coughed a few times but did not respond. When Long Changxi saw this, he quickly smoothed things over and said, "Your Highness, why don't we go back to the laboratory and sit for a while?" But he was thinking in his heart, it seemed that Lin Chen would not be able to escape the clutches of this quirky princess today. While walking on the road, Lin Chen saw not only the so-called 420-year-old elf aunt, but also many young-looking elf ladies. But what shocked Lin Chen was that the young lady you thought was actually an ant. Abazin, is it possible that this dungeon is full of Abazin? And, even if Lin Chen likes someone older, it still depends on the occasion. After all, next to some elven aunties, there is also a superficial brother who actually plays the role of uncle. Lin Chen does not want to be the king next door to the elves. After a short journey, Lin Chen, Long Changxi and Elwi finally arrived at their destination, the mysterious laboratory hidden deep in the underground city. Lin Chen followed the two of them and walked into it. However, as soon as he stepped into the door of the laboratory, his eyes were firmly attracted by the scene in front of him, and he was stunned for an instant that Lin Chen's voice was trembling a little and he pointed forward. There, a huge corpse lay quietly. Although it had lost the breath of life, the faint residual power exuding from its body made Lin Chen feel an indescribable sense of oppression. This feeling was countless times stronger than any strong person he had encountered before. "What? Are you nervous now?" Elvi's voice sounded in her ears. With a hint of joking, Lin Chen took a deep breath and tried to calm down the shock in his heart. "It's not nervous, it's shocking. I never thought that a corpse could bring such a strong sense of oppression to people. He looked at the corpse in front of him, filled with doubts and curiosity. This laboratory is indeed extraordinary. If it weren't for joining the Xianluo Doing organization, he would never have imagined that there was such a powerful existence in the world. However, in front of this corpse, he felt so small and insignificant. Elvie looked at Lin Chen's expression, with a cunning light flashing in her eyes. This is the first time, but do you still want to get married than this? You know, if you get married to our elves, maybe you can reach such a height in the future. What height? Lin Chen raised his head in confusion. Anyway, it's 100 times, 1,000 times better than your current apprentice level. Elvie's tone was full of pride and pride. After all, any of the younger members of our elves can easily defeat you. Stop! Lin Chen felt a headache and shouted quickly. He found that he seemed to be led away from the topic by Elvie, and he was getting further and further away. Elvie looked at Lin Chen's reaction, with a smile on her lips. What's wrong? Do you want to marry our elves? Chapter 113 Global Enemy. Apprentice level. If he hadn't heard this from Elvie with his own ears, Lin Chen probably wouldn't have believed it. He really has a feeling now that there is another mountain higher than the other. You mean, I only have the apprentice level now? Lin Chen asked. Yes, strictly speaking, it's the 9th level of apprentice level. Don't hold me back like that, I'm a little scared, Elvie said. Oh, I'm a little excited, but I can't control it. Lin Chen saw that his hands were on Elvie and quickly put them down. Since you don't know these levels, let me explain them to you on behalf of Mr. Long. Elvie continued. Before the end, we conducted a detailed analysis of all the levels of superpowers on Blue Star Division from low to high. They are Apprentice, also called Warrior, Martial King, Martial Emperor, Martial Lord, Martial Saint, Martial God and Super Martial God. Each realm is divided into 9 levels. She paused and then said, although you defeated Mr. Long at a young age, you still have to work harder. After all, your level is really not good enough. At most, you can be willful under King Wu, for example. What about bullying? Yingjiang, Xiaori Empire. But if they send their allies, you'd better run. After all, their allies are very strong. When your strength reaches the level of King Wu, in the underground world, you may be in some remote areas, such as your Dragon Kingdom. But if you really want to go to the imperial capital of our elves and dwarfs, it is better to go less often, or to maybe when we reach the Martial Emperor, we don't need to be afraid of those strong men from the dwarves. After all, the Martial Emperor is already one of the strongest in the earthly world. If we reach the Wuzong for the first time, even the major races in the underground world will be willing to win over us, such as our elves. Then there are realms such as Martial Lord, Martial Saint, Martial God, and Super Martial God that you can't even imagine. I suggest you don't ask about it, because this kind of realm may have existed thousands of years ago, but now for some reason, there is no such realm. A strong one, Elvie said clearly. Lin Chen was very serious when he heard it, just as serious as when he was studying. Since the outbreak of the apocalypse, he has always believed that his strength has rapidly grown to the top of the killing tower. So he is no longer afraid of the opponents he faces. Little did he know that Lin Chen was overthinking all this. When Lin Chen thought of such a division of realms, he had new thoughts about the Blue Star. It turned out that the Blue Star was far from being as simple as it appeared. The light world is divided into the above-ground world and the underground world. It seems that if you want to quickly grow into a truly powerful person, you have to start with this young elf princess. With this thought in his mind, Lin Chen had new ideas when he saw Elvie this time. Your Highness, thank you for telling me this, Lin Chen said sincerely. But more than this, I am more curious about why such a powerful being like you would be interested in a weak human like me. Although I am very handsome, but I am also more curious. It's not necessarily the reason why you fall in love with me, right? He said half-jokingly. Elvie smiled slightly when she heard this, with a cunning light flashing in her eyes. What do you think? Then he leaned directly on Lin Chen's body and pinched Lin Chen's handsome face. At the same time, just as Lin Chen was communicating with the elf princess Elvie, a piece of news that shocked the world was spreading rapidly. The #1 person in the killing tower had changed hands, and the new overlord turned out to be Lin from the Dragon Kingdom. Chen. In the distant country of Eagle Sauce, in an iconic white building, a blonde old man was lying on the soft lap of a blonde girl, enjoying a moment of tranquility. Since his beloved daughter Ivanka was captured by Lin Chen, his heart disease was almost frightened out. In order to relieve his inner pain and guilt, he had to keep different types of blondes by his side every day, trying to numb his mind in this way. However, this brief tranquility was broken by a rapid knock on the door. The old man frowned slightly, and even though he was unhappy in his heart, he calmly uttered one word, "Enter." As soon as he finished speaking, Robert hurriedly rushed in. When the old man saw him, he became furious and cursed. Didn't you complete the mission again? Didn't you? Those two failed too? Then why are you coming back? Get out. No, it didn't fail. Robert said tremblingly. They were recalled urgently before they reached their destination. What do you want to do? Do you want to rebel? Said the old man. The reporter has obviously lost his patience. This is not the first time this has happened, sir. How dare I? Robert quickly explained. It's just that the killing tower has just changed, and the person ranked first has changed. Oh. Has our pantheon improved? The old man was stunned for a moment, then showed a proud smile. I told him a long time ago not to indulge in women. Look at me, at least I can count. As he spoke, he pinched the slender waist of the blonde next to him. However, Robert's next words made a smile instantly freeze on his face. No, it's not Pan Senator. It's a man named Lin Chen from the Dragon Kingdom who became the #1. What did you say? The old man suddenly stood up from the blonde's legs, exuding a powerful aura. This momentum was as heavy as a mountain, directly suppressing the blonde girl beside him and suffocating him. Your Excellency, please calm down. The blonde girl was so frightened by this momentum that she turned pale and quickly begged for mercy. However, the old man seemed not to hear her voice, and just stared at Robert, waiting for his further explanation. Sir, I don't know what's going on. Robert bit the bullet and said, do you think this Lin Chen who won the first place in the killing tower is the Lin Chen we have been looking for? At this moment, his mind was in confusion and he had no idea what to do. How to deal with the situation at hand. However, the old man did not give him any chance to respond. With a sharp glance, Robert's body instantly turned into a pool of blood and disappeared into the air. Although the blonde was suppressed by the old man's momentum, she couldn't help but scream after witnessing Robert's miserable condition. Shut up, too, the old man shouted sternly. Immediately, the blonde also followed Robert's footsteps, turning into a pool of blood and making no sound again. The old man quickly walked to the table, picked up the satellite phone, and began to issue orders. Notify those two people immediately, let them speed up their actions, and be sure to solve Lin Chen before he grows up. Remember, the end justifies the means. If you fail, you must also get all the information about this person. I repeat, all the information. His tone was full of unquestionable majesty. In addition, if necessary, you can ask the dwarves for assistance. He added, we have given them support and benefits for so many years, and now it is time for them to repay us. Let them not only live a dry life, but it is also time to pay back the interest to me. I've entered the dark room again, and I feel like I can't get out. Please take a look and cherish it if you can. Give me more free gifts, otherwise I won't get any more. Wow, 10 more words to generate electricity with love and 1 more chapters, 20 plus 2 chapters, no limit, as long as you dare to give, I dare to update. Chapter 114. The Elf Princess returns. In the heart of the little Japanese empire, the general's mansion is like a sleeping giant, lurking under the shadow of the heavy intertwining of history and power. A secretary, with a pale face, hurried through the corridor and broke into the general's study. His voice was filled with undisguised panic. General, something big happened. The general's brow suddenly frowned, and his palm was thrown out like lightning, and a crisp slap resounded throughout the room. The secretary's cheeks suddenly became red and swollen, but he seemed to be accustomed to this kind of treatment and immediately fell to his knees. Your Excellency, please calm down. The secretary trembled. All the people we sent out to search for the young lady are dead. A cold light flashed in the general's eyes, but was immediately covered by a deeper shadow. Is such a trivial matter worth being so rude? He snorted coldly. If there is no more important news, just prepare to feed the mutated zombies I just cultivated. The secretary trembled all over and continued, one more thing, General. There have just been changes in the killing tower, and your ranking dropped 1 place. The general's face instantly turned livid. As the 3rd best player in the world in the killing tower, he's extraordinarily sensitive to changes in rankings. This sudden decline is undoubtedly a challenge to his authority. Which BD dares to touch my head? The general roared, his voice filled with violent murderous intent. No, it's not just you, General. The secretary replied tremblingly, even Ying Jiang's Pan Sen has fallen. The #1 now is Lin Chen from the Dragon Kingdom. The general's anger reached its peak at this moment. His eyes were like knives, as if they could penetrate the void and pierce the heart of the Dragon Nation man who dared to challenge him. Boom, a deafening loud bang exploded, and the entire study seemed to have been hit by a heavy hammer. The walls trembled, and the books on the bookshelf fell. For a while, the room was filled with a smell of dust and torn paper. The general's face was distorted, and anger burned in his eyes like fire. Lin Chen? Which Lin Chen are you talking about? Tell me clearly. His voice was like thunder. Making the secretary's ears buzz, the secretary swallowed his saliva and replied bravely, "General, according to the reliable information we just received, it is this person named Lin Chen who kidnapped the young lady. Moreover, he was the murderer who just killed the killer of Yingjiang. Will, what's worse is that Lin Chen just announced to appoint him as the eighth heavenly law of heaven and earth." With the output of this series of explosive information, General Mikami's face became increasingly gloomy. As if the calm before the approaching storm, the study fell into a deathly silence, with only the breathing of the two people clearly audible. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Time seems to become extremely long at this moment. Finally, the general broke the silence, his voice as cold as ice. "Pass my order and immediately summon all the personnel sent to the ruins of Luo City, and contact our allies, the fish people. Tell them that no matter what the cost, this Lin Chen must be strangled in the cradle. I think the fishman won't miss this opportunity, right?" The secretary wiped the cold sweat from his forehead and said cautiously, "General, we still owe some debts to the fish people that have not been repaid." "Tell them," the general interrupted, "as long as they can capture Lin Chen alive, I am willing to double their reward." There was an unquestionable determination in his tone. "Yes, Your Majesty." General. The secretary bowed deeply and hurriedly left the study. He knew that a storm targeting Lin Chen was about to sweep across. In the deep underground world of Europa where the sun never sets, the deputy prime minister hurriedly stepped into a secret room with a bit of anxiety and solemnity on his face. "Prime Minister," he reported in a deep voice, "the world record for the killing tower has been broken, and the person who broke this record was Lin Chen from the Dragon Kingdom." The prime minister was an old man with a white beard, and a trace of amusement flashed in his eyes when he heard this. "Oh? Lin Chen? Long Guo? This is interesting. Long Guo has indeed produced many geniuses over the years, but it's a pity that their glory is always fleeting and fleeting," he said thoughtfully. "Deputy Prime Minister, what do you think?" The Deputy Prime Minister nodded slightly in agreement. What the Prime Minister said is absolutely true. "So, should we act in accordance with the genocide plan? But now that the zombies have just broken out, will it be too radical?" he asked with some concern. The white-bearded Prime Minister frowned slightly, and after thinking for a moment, he said, "The outbreak of zombies was not caused by us. The real culprit is someone else. Yingjiang and the Japanese Empire have been eyeing this for a long time, and they are the masterminds behind it. However, it is not our current focus. What is important is that we must prevent the rise of the Dragon Kingdom and never let them have the opportunity to become a dragon that we cannot provoke." He paused, and a cold light flashed in his eyes. "Order the 007 agents who are lurking in the Dragon Kingdom to find the right opportunity and get rid of this Lin Chen. We want the Dragon Kingdom to understand that their road to rise is destined to be full of thorns and blood." "Yes, sir." The Deputy Prime Minister solemnly obeyed the order, turned around and left to carry out the Prime Minister's order. When the news came that the world record of the killing tower had been refreshed, major countries such as Rodifa, Grizzly Bear Country, and Shiansu started intensive actions almost at the same time. Dragon Kingdom, a country that has always attracted global attention, has once again become the focus of attention. All countries know that the Dragon Kingdom has a long history, profound cultural heritage, and numerous geniuses. But because of this, whenever an outstanding genius appears in the Dragon Kingdom, it will always cause jealousy and uneasiness in other countries. They seem to have reached a tacit understanding. The geniuses of the Dragon Kingdom can only be short-lived, and they will never be given the opportunity to grow into a dragon that shakes the world. However, Lin Chen, who was at the center of the storm, knew nothing about it. He was walking out of the underground world with the elf princess Elvi. The sun was shining on them, as if they were covered with a golden halo. Lin Chen gently held Elvi's waist, but Elvi, who was usually as cold as ice and kept away from strangers, showed rare gentleness and generosity at this moment. Long Chengxi, who was following the two men, was frightened. He knew that Elvi's strength was unfathomable, and he was afraid that she would accidentally kill Lin Chen. But seeing the subtle interaction between Lin Chen and Elvi, he couldn't help but wonder, what kind of promise did Lin Chen make to Elvi to make her change her attitude like this? Just when Long Changxi was puzzled, Lin Chen's voice came over. This sentence made Mr. Long blush, but he had no choice but to accept it. "Mr. Long, I have brought home some of the wives you promised me before. You won't object temporarily, right?" Chapter 115. Chen Lili is missing. Long Changxi looked at Lin Chen's eyes, and the deep reluctance revealed was like the complex emotions of an old father. When he married his daughter, he originally thought that after Lin Chen won the heart of the elf princess Elvi with clever words, he would be satisfied and would no longer have any plans for other girls in the Dragnet organization. However, he obviously thought too much. Lin Chen's smart mind never forgot his original intention. Long Changxi coughed twice, trying to break the delicate silence, and said solemnly, I have to make it clear, if this is forced by you, I will never agree. However, before he finished speaking, Lin Chen's figure had already appeared. The beauties, who looked as cold as ice but were as passionate as fire on the inside, shouted loudly one after another, we are willing to do so, it's not forced. I love you, Lin Chen, my beloved, I want to give birth to offspring for you. The enthusiastic shouts came one after another, and Long Changxi couldn't help but blush. He recalled his demeanor when he was young, and he had never experienced such a sensational scene. He once claimed to be the most handsome guy in the world, but now in front of Lin Chen, he could only be overshadowed and feel inferior. Lin Chen smiled slightly and said to Long Changxi, Mr. Long, then I will leave now with my babies, no, my beloved wives. When Long Changxi heard this, he glanced at Lin Chen and the group of girls, sighed and said, let's go. The girls have grown up, and they can't be kept, but you have to remember, every one of my dragnet's girls are my most precious treasures. If you dare to treat them badly, I will come to support them even if they are thousands of miles away. Girls, you have left the dragnet, but you will always be a part of it. This will always be your home. If it weren't for Lin Chen's strength and Li Xianluo's previous promise, Long Changxi would never agree. Alice, the dragnet was now ransacked by Lin Chen. Almost all the girls with beautiful figures and good figures were taken away by him now. The dragnet's single problem is even more serious as Xianluo. He has to shoulder this responsibility. Suddenly, Long Changxi remembered something and asked, by the way, how do you go back? Luo City is not close to here. Lin Chen smiled and replied, you don't have to worry about this, Mr. Long. LV, it's up to you. As soon as he finished speaking, a deafening sound broke through the air. Boom! In front of Lin Chen and many girls, the space was torn open, and a strong sense of pressure rushed towards them. I almost forgot, LV is a martial arts master. Long Changxi slapped his forehead and said with some annoyance. Lin Chen and the girls showed shocked expressions when they saw this scene. Although Lin Chen knew there was a gap between himself and LV, he didn't expect the gap to be so big. If he himself is an apprentice, then LV is at least several levels higher than him, and each level has different levels. Fortunately, he had just deceived this simple elf princess with sweet words. Otherwise he would have been really afraid that he would be accidentally shot to death by this powerful girl. The other girls also said in shock, at the apprentice level, the Martial King can fly with the flight ability he has learned. The Martial King can directly step into the void, but only the martial sect can truly tear apart space and go to another place in a short time. How did Lin Chen find another girl who criticizes so fiercely? I'm really afraid that before I can enjoy it, Lin Chen will kill everyone. A girl said worriedly. Bah. Can you speak? How could the man I like not be good at that? The other girl immediately retorted. 2.5 hours later, LV barely reached Luo City because she had just advanced to martial arts and was not yet proficient in the technique of tearing apart space, so she spent a lot of power. However, before the girls could celebrate, Lin Chen's cell phone suddenly rang. He answered the phone, and Su Yun's anxious voice came from the receiver. Lin Chen, it's me, Su Yun. What's wrong, Yuner? You missed me so much and are you so anxious to call me? Lin Chen tried to ease the tense atmosphere, but the anxiety revealed in Su Yun's voice made him feel a little uneasy. Husband, it's really urgent. Lily, she was taken away. Su Yun's voice was filled with tears. She said that you should not look for her again in the future. Upon hearing the news that Lily was taken away, Lin Chen's eyes instantly became sharp. He took a deep breath and tried to keep calm. What happened? Speak slowly. Yesterday, Lily received a message from her father and hurried out. As you know, Lily has always had a strong personality. We originally wanted to accompany her, but she insisted on going by herself. We thought she will be back soon, but she has not come back until today. We had no choice, so we called you quickly. Su Yun's voice was full of worry and helplessness. Lin Chen's heart sank. He knew Chen Lili's character. If something hadn't happened, she would never have said such a thing. Did she say anything to you before she left? Lin Chen calmed down and said she said that the Chen family sent someone to say that her father seemed to have been taken back. She was worried, so she followed him back. After Su Yun finished speaking, Lin Chen probably understood. When Lin Chen chatted with Chen Lili, he knew that she came from a relatively powerful family of warriors in the imperial capital of the Dragon Kingdom. When Chen Lili was forced to chat for the first time, she even moved the so-called Chen family out to scare Lin Chen. But from this incident, it seems that the so-called Chen family in the imperial capital does not take the Chen family in Luochang seriously, and even looks down upon it. Okay, I understand. Just wait for me at home and I'll be right back. After hanging up the phone, Lin Chen turned to the elf Princess Elvie with a hint of apology in his tone. There's something urgent at home. I have to rush back to the imperial capital immediately. You can take the other girls back to my house first. Aunt Sue will take good care of you. However, at this moment, Elvie suddenly hugged Lin Chen's arm tightly. Her eyes no longer had the majesty and oppression of a strong martial artist, but were replaced by full of attachment and reluctance. Just like as gentle as a little woman, Lin Chen looked at Elvie gently, his eyes full of love and comfort. Don't worry, I will be back soon. I will definitely do what I promised you in Dragnet, and I will not break my promise. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Chen had a thought in his mind and instantly galloped towards the imperial capital. Only a group of Dragnet girls and Elvie were left standing there. Elvie looked at Lin Chen's leaving back longingly and murmured to herself, Lin Chen, please don't let me down. Perhaps only Lin Chen himself knew what kind of words he said to successfully win the heart of this elf princess. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116, The Chen Family of the Imperial Capital. One day ago, the once gorgeous building in Los Angeles has now become devastated and desolate due to the ravages of the zombie plague. If Chen Lili hadn't seen it with her own eyes, she would never have been able to accept this shocking reality. Her father, a strong man with level 3 powers, was actually imprisoned in these ruins. She once thought that with her father's ability, even if she couldn't conquer Luo City alone, she could at least protect herself. Now, Chen Lili has stepped onto the rooftop of the building. The scene in front of her made her heart beat faster instantly. She saw her father and second father lying on the ground, their bodies soaked in blood, and they looked extremely weak. Lily, why are you here? His father's voice was weak and trembling. Didn't I warn you not to come here? The second father also added feebly, Lily, even if your father and I die here, I don't want you to take this risk. At least the Chen family in the imperial capital can't find you in a short time. You are the only hope. Seeing this scene, Chen Lili's eyes turned red. She bit her lower lip tightly and said with a bit of dissatisfaction and determination, I'm already here. How long do you plan to hide it? Do you want me to ask you to come out? As soon as he finished speaking, 3 black figures slowly appeared beside Chen Lili's father and second father. The leader had white hair and a handsome face, but his eyes revealed depth and mystery. Very good, very good. The leader in the shadow nodded slightly and looked at Chen Lili. Your branch family actually raised such a beautiful girl. If the elders of this family know about it, they will be very happy. Period. What do you think, DK? Hearing this, the black shadow known as the second child raised a playful smile on his lips, but said with a bit of dissatisfaction, Brother, we have come all the way here just for a little girl like this. What are we planning on? How about we have some fun first, and then second brother? Before he could finish speaking, the third child on the side interrupted him coldly. Have you forgotten what brother told you before setting off? Don't force me to give you some color when you are most proud. Have a look. The second child shrugged and showed an indifferent attitude. I was just joking. However, this little girl is really good. You have to be careful when you learn how to fly a plane. Don't go too fast. If you this little girl's buttons are broken, so you can't blame me. You know, it's hard for me to control myself once the plane accelerates. That's enough. The white-haired old man finally couldn't bear it any longer and shouted angrily, You can play whatever you want when you go back. Now restrain yourself. After hearing this, the second child closed his mouth with satisfaction. He glanced at Chen Lili's slender legs, and a meaningful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Again, under the uncomfortable gaze of the second child, Chen Lili felt a strong sense of disgust in her heart. She said coldly, I can go with you, but one thing you must understand is that my husband is Lin Chen, and he is not someone you can easily offend. Before making a decision, it is best to weigh your own weight. Chen Lili's words made everyone stunned for a moment. Their mission this time was to bring the perfect Chen Lili back to the imperial capital to be baptized by the Chen family. Now, however, things seemed to have changed. The white-haired old man glared at Chen Lili angrily, with disbelief in his voice. What did you say? Are you already married? Do you know how much trouble you have caused? Facing the anger of the white-haired old man, Chen Lili did not flinch. She said without fear, If you dare to take me back, then you are really causing trouble. Anyway, my husband will come to me soon, and then you will just wish yourself good luck. The white-haired old man was silent for a moment, seeming to weigh the pros and cons. In the end, He decided to take Chen Lili onto the helicopter at this point. They could only take her back to the imperial capital before making further plans. Elsewhere, Lin Chen had already said goodbye to the elf princess Elvie and others, and he embarked on a journey alone to the city where the Lin family was located in the imperial capital. The imperial capital is a place where power and families are intertwined, the most prominent of which are the four major families: Lin family, Chen family, Zhao family and Nalan family. Among these four major families, the Nalan family and the Chen family are particularly powerful, and each of them occupies a pivotal position in the imperial capital, especially the Chen family. Their achievements in business are unparalleled. Therefore, in the northeast corner of the imperial capital, in Chaoyang district, the Chen family's headquarters stands proudly, like an unshakable fortress since the apocalypse broke out. The residents of the imperial capital have been living in panic and uneasiness. However, the Chen family relied on their strong strength to quickly wipe out the zombies in Chaoyang district. Such an achievement is enough to prove the strength of the Chen family. You must know that even a first-level zombie has far more abilities than a first-level superpower. What's more, a district in the imperial capital is so big that it even exceeds some base cities with a dual blessing of mental power and Zixia divine thunder. Lin Chen was able to soar to an astonishing speed of more than 2 times supersonic speed in a short period of time. In only about 800,765 equals 17 minutes, he completed the nearly 800-kilometer long-distance shuttle from Luochang to Chaoyang district. Such speed is really amazing. However, despite his ability, Lin Chen was not rash or complacent at all. When he was still some distance away from Chaoyang district, he chose to slow down, land, and carefully observe the situation ahead. He knew that he knew nothing about the strength of the Chen family, so he could not act rashly to avoid getting into unnecessary trouble. However, just when Lin Chen arrived at the gate of Chaoyang district, he was surprised to find a towering giant wall in front of him. This huge wall seems to be an indestructible barrier, isolating Chaoyang district from the outside world. How long has it been since the apocalypse broke out? Isn't this giant wall just repaired? Lin Chen looked at the giant wall in front of him and couldn't help but sigh. It seems that the Chen family has long had the ambition to dominate the mountain and become the king. He knew that this huge wall was not only a symbol of the Chen family's strength, but also their declaration of war and demonstration against other families in the imperial capital. Facing the Chen family like this, Lin Chen knew that he had to be more cautious. Who would have known that when Lin Chen just arrived at the door, the two big men standing at the door saw Lin Chen walking over and said in a disdainful tone, "Where did the refugees come from? Our Chen family does not accept refugees. Boy, if you are sensible, before I get angry, I suggest you stay away from me. Otherwise I will be very angry if I get angry." Hearing this, Lin Chen said with a smile, "I heard that the Chen family is recruiting strong people recently, so I came here specially to attract famous people." Chapter 117 Childlike Giant Chen Gear. Lin Chen's words had just finished, but when the big man heard them, they seemed to be filled with a hint of contempt. He took a special look at Lin Chen and noticed that Lin Chen didn't have a very strong power fluctuation. Even if he did, he thought it was far inferior to him. Therefore, the big man laughed loudly and his contempt was palpable. "Boy, I made it very clear just now. Get out of here before I get angry. When I change my mind, I won't be as easy to talk to as I am now. But, if you can offer me a beautiful wife, or come up with something that makes my heart beat, and I might consider letting you in." Hearing this, Lin Chen frowned slightly. What he can't tolerate the most is others making fun of his wife. He can joke, but he will never allow others to touch this bottom line. Try saying it again. "My ears don't work very well," Lin Chen said in a calm tone. "Damn, boy, you're asking for trouble." The big man roared angrily and rushed toward Lin Chen. However, in Lin Chen's eyes, the big man's movement seemed to have been slowed down countless times, like a slideshow, moving slowly frame by frame, posing no threat at all. Just when Lin Chen was about to make a move, a crisp voice suddenly sounded. "Stop." The big man stopped immediately when he heard the sound, and turned around angrily. "Which blind guy is meddling in other people's business?" Believe it or not, before he finished speaking, his voice stopped abruptly. "I saw a girl with a graceful figure and a childish face walking over." The big man immediately put on a respectful face, bowed and said, "It turns out that it was Chen Keir, the eldest daughter of the Chen family." She was ignorant and bumped into the eldest daughter. "Please forgive me." Lin Chen also looked along the sound and saw a girl with a childlike face coming into view. Her petite body hides amazing curves, which are eye-catching. The long black hair falls like a waterfall, adding a bit of charm. This is undoubtedly a typical childlike beauty. After being stared at by Lin Chen for a long time, The old man in black next to Chen Qi finally couldn't help but speak out, with deep dissatisfaction in his tone. Boy, do you want to destroy your eyes? If you dare again, take one more look and I guarantee your eyes will be gouged out and slowly eaten away by zombies. However, Chen Qi stepped forward at this moment. Although her little face was a little red due to Lin Chen's gaze, her tone revealed a hint of shyness and expectation. Mr. Chen, please don't do this. This little brother, if you also plan to go to Chaoyuan, the base city of our Chen family, that would be great. I am willing to personally guide you. Although Chen Qi's appearance and figure are stunning, she always hesitates and stutters every time she calls Lin Chen little brother, which makes Lin Chen feel a little unhappy. He thought silently in his heart, you can call me brother, but don't call me young. This is my bottom line. Of course, Lin Chen did not show this emotion on the spot, but responded with a smile. Thank you very much for your kindness. I heard that the Chen family values strong men very much, so I also intend to join the Chen family. I wonder if the eldest lady of the Chen family would be willing to introduce me. Of course, Chen Qi readily agreed, thinking that as long as her little brother enters the Chen family, he can be with her every day. Then my father would not let him marry that boy from the Nalan family. Then he asked a little shyly, I still don't know what to call my little brother. My name is Lin Chen. Lin Chen replied succinctly, oh, brother Lin, please come with me. After Chen Qi finished speaking, he led the way, followed closely by Lin Chen, and successfully entered Chaoyuan district, the base camp of the Chen family. As soon as he entered Chaoyuan district, Lin Chen was surprised to find that the place was almost the same as the city before the apocalypse, with no trace of the apocalypse at all. However, after only a few minutes, Lin Chen realized that his idea was too naive. Brother Lin, this is the new Chaoyuan built by our Chen family. Of course, people in the old imperial capital still like to call it Chaoyuan district, but the name is just a code name, not that important. Chen Qi smiled. He introduced to Lin Chen, oh, by the way, our Chen family will hold a superpower selection competition tomorrow. Everyone who participates will get 100 kilograms of rice. And, depending on the ranking in the competition, there will be a chance to join our Chen family. Even you even have the chance to marry me. At the end of the sentence, Chen Qi's little face couldn't help but blush when he heard 100 kilograms of rice. Lin Chen couldn't help showing a surprised expression. In this apocalyptic world, food is more precious than anything else. One loaf of bread is enough to spark a mad scramble, and now, the Chen family has so generously given out 100 kilograms of rice as a competition reward, which shows the importance of strength in this world. Without strength, even survival becomes a luxury. Seeing Chen Qi's shy look, Lin Chen couldn't help but feel a ripple in his heart. Is this girl really in love with me? He shook his head and put the idea behind him for the time being. At this moment, there was a sudden noise from the front. A group of people gathered together, seemingly arguing about something. Lin Chen and Chen Qi walked over curiously, and saw an old man kneeling in front of a young man, pleading, Mr. Chen, please let my daughter go. Although she used to be a flight attendant, but I must have seen a lot of flight attendants. Just be generous and let us go. But Mr. Chen glanced at the old man with disdain, and Wang Mao next to him said proudly, old man, it is your family's blessing that your daughter is favored by our Mr. Chen. Think about it. Use you. How long will you be able to live if your daughter is exchanged for 1,000 kilograms of rice? No one else can ask for such a good thing. However, the old man was not swayed at all by Wang Mao's words. He just kowtowed and begged, no, Mr. Chen. My daughter is my lifeblood. What's the point of living without her? Please let her go. Tears burst into my eyes as I spoke, and his daughter, the former flight attendant, also cried and begged Mr. Chen to let her father go. Mr. Chen, please let me go. My dad is so ignorant that he annoyed you, but he really said this for my own good. Can you please stop being acquainted with him? However, Mr. Chen just said lightly, why is this fly so annoying? Understood, Mr. Chen. Wang Mao nodded and bowed in response to Mr. Chen's order, and then walked towards the old man without hesitation. There was a cruel smile on his face, as if he was enjoying the pleasure of bullying the weak. No, don't do this. I'll just go with you, the flight attendant cried desperately, trying to exchange her body for her father's safety. The old man was heartbroken when he saw his daughter sacrificed like this, but he was powerless and could only watch Wang Mao approaching step by step. He knelt down desperately to beg for mercy, and the blood on his forehead dyed the ground red, but he still could not move the stone hearts of Chen Xiao and Wang Mao. Old guy, you didn't listen when I told you to leave just now. Don't blame me for being rude now, Wang Mao said with a sneer. While raising the stick in his hand, he planned to teach the old man a profound lesson, letting him understand that in this doomsday world, The weak can only be oppressed, however. At the moment Wang Mao was about to take action. Chapter 118. The second dragon of February raises its head tonight, okay? However, when Wang Mao was only half a foot away from the old man and was about to deliver the fatal blow, his body suddenly floated strangely in the air. Immediately afterwards, an invisible force wrapped him tightly. His body continued to twist and deform under the influence of this force, and was eventually compressed into a pool of blood. This sudden scene made Mr. Chen and others extremely frightened. Their faces instantly turned pale, as if they had seen some unbelievable and terrifying scene. They simply couldn't understand what happened and how could Wang Mao suddenly become like this. Who is it? You have the ability to kill people, but you don't have the guts to admit it, Mr. Chen roared angrily, his voice full of anger and fear. He couldn't believe that someone dared to openly kill people on their territory, and the people they killed were members of the Chen family. This is simply a provocation and insult to their Chen family. He looked around, trying to find the murderer hiding in the dark, but the crowd around him was silent. No one spoke or moved. This made him feel even more frightened and uneasy, because he knew that the murderer must be hidden among these people and watching them coldly. At this time, the crowd began to become a little commotion, as if there was an invisible force dividing the crowd. Lin Chen, that heroic figure, walked steadily out of the crowd, his eyes firm and his expression calm. I tease me. Stewardess Liang Chen's eyes paused slightly on Lin Chen. There was a flash of surprise in her eyes, and then appreciation. That handsome face and that calm and unhurried temperament made her feel a little excited. Her rosy little mouth pursed slightly, and she sighed silently in her heart. Although the person who came to rescue them was very young, she felt an inexplicable peace of mind and satisfaction. The old man who was rescued also saw Lin Chen. He rushed over excitedly and held Lin Chen's hand tightly. His gratitude was beyond words. Young man, thank you so much. But I want to tell you, the Chen family is not something you can afford to offend. You'd better leave quickly before the Chen family gets angry. On the street at this moment, in addition to people from the Chen family, other people passing by also stopped and watched. Their eyes were full of surprise and curiosity, as if they were watching a wonderful show. Everyone knows the status of the Chen family in Chaoyuan. They are like emperors, aloof and arrogant. Although they were shocked by Lin Chen's brave behavior, that was all. Young Master Chen also reacted. His eyes widened and he glared at Lin Chen. Although I don't know how Wang Mao died, he lost face outside, which is absolutely intolerable. He took a step forward and said with an angry smile, "You boy, do you also want to play the trick of a hero saving a beauty? But I'm sorry, your trick won't work in Chaoyuan. The Chen family is something you can't afford to offend here." "Oh, really? The Chen family may not be able to move the people I want to save today," Lin Chen said with a smile. When he saw Mr. Chen being so arrogant, Lin Chen was not a virgin, but out of caution, he had used the system to identify flight attendant Liang Chen's information before he took action. Name, Liang Chen. Race, human. Gender, female. Age 24. Quality, Kingo. Occupation, stewardess in black stockings. Appearance 93. Body 93. Power, none. Overall rating 93. Although Lin Chen often watched this kind of profession on TV, he had only seen it but had never experienced it, so Lin Chen, who wanted to raise his head in February, took action tonight. "Little brother, please leave quickly." Liang Chen's voice was full of anxiety and worry. "We are very grateful that you can stand up. But the Chen family is not something you can compete with. I will help you stop Mr. Chen, but you still take the opportunity and leave quickly." When Mr. Chen heard Liang Chen's words, a sneer flashed across his face. He looked at Lin Chen mockingly, as if he had seen Lin Chen's failure and surrender. He gave the men next to him a wink, and the men immediately understood and took out a rocket launcher from his clothes bag. He pulled it gently, and a signal flare immediately flew out and exploded in the air, emitting a dazzling light. "Boy, this is our Chen family's territory. Now that you're here, don't even think about leaving." He ordered his men to keep an eye on the stewardess, and then said coldly to the others, "Kill everyone else." Following Master Chen's order, his men immediately took action and rushed towards Lin Chen. They looked fierce, as if they wanted to tear Lin Chen into pieces. However, facing the siege of these dozen people, Lin Chen was terrifyingly calm. "Geez," he sneered, "if you are not afraid of death, you can come and try it." Lin Chen's words did not scare everyone, but instead aroused their fighting spirit. They accelerated towards Lin Chen, as if they wanted to drown him in the sea of people. However, at this moment, Lin Chen's thoughts moved slightly, and a powerful mental force burst out. Instantly there were a few muffled pops, and the dozen or so people were directly controlled by their mental power. Then, under the shocked eyes of everyone, They turned into blood like Wang Mao. Before this scene happened so fast that people had no time to react. Young Master Chen and others looked at everything in front of them, feeling an indescribable chill and fear in their hearts. This is impossible? Are you a devil, Mr. Chen was so frightened that he sat on the ground and said tremblingly, "It doesn't matter whether I am the devil or not. What is important is that you will be taken in by the devil." Lin Chen walked up to Mr. Chen and said calmly, "Little brother, wait a minute." Chen Qi's breathtaking voice came over. In fact, Chen Qi was by Lin Chen's side at the beginning, but she didn't say anything because she just wanted to see if the man she was attracted to still had compassion in the face of doom. Now it seems that Lin Chen passed her test. Qi, save me. Help me quickly. Seeing Chen Qi appear, Chen Xiao seemed to have seen the last straw. However, Chen Qi did not rush to save him immediately as he expected. Instead, she stood there, looking at him coldly, her eyes full of disgust. "Don't touch me, I can't save you." Chen Qi's voice was cold and firm. "You offended my little brother. If he doesn't let you go, I won't come forward." In the Chen family, Mr. Chen has always lived a pampered life. He always does whatever it takes to get what he wants. This behavior and attitude made Chen Qi deeply disgusted and despised. She had long disliked what he did, but she had never had the chance to express it before. Hearing Chen Qi's words, Mr. Chen was stunned for a moment. He looked at Chen Qi in disbelief, as if he was meeting her for the first time. At this moment, Lin Chen spoke. He said calmly, "It's useless for me to say anything. It depends on whether this black-stocking stewardess is willing to let you go. If he is unwilling to let you go, then I'm sorry." Lin Chen's words made everyone stunned again. They originally thought that Lin Chen would take the opportunity to attack Mr. Chen, but they did not expect that he would hand over the decision-making power to the old man who has rescued. Chapter 119. The head of the Chen family. Hearing that he could actually control the fortune and life of the so-called eldest son of the Chen family, the old man felt a burst of joy in his heart. The way he looked at Mr. Chen also changed subtly. Although Mr. Chen was intimidated by Lin Chen's power, he still showed disdain when facing the elderly father of stewardess Liang Chen. "Old immortal, what do you mean by staring at me like this? Do you still want to drag me to be buried with you? I'm warning you, you'd better not mess with me again, or I'll dig out your eyes," he threatened viciously. However, Chen Xiao's threat did not make the old man back down, but instead aroused his dissatisfaction. The old man's voice also became firm. "Young man, if you don't mind it, I want to marry my little daughter to you. Even if it is a concubine, I can accept it." When Lin Chen heard this, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. The old man's words are really interesting. However, before he could recover, the old man continued, "Now the end is coming, and I won't live long. As long as you promise me to get rid of Mr. Chen, what I just said will be fulfilled immediately. But please be kind to my little daughter." At this time, more and more people were watching on the street. Perhaps because of Lin Chen's action, everyone felt very relieved to see the once arrogant Mr. Chen being subdued. They all cast expectant glances at Lin Chen, as if hoping that he could deal with Mr. Chen immediately. "You old BD." Mr. Chen shouted angrily, "I just invited your daughter to have a cup of tea and have a chat, but you actually dared to take advantage of me. Do you know? The eldest daughter of my Chen family, Chen Qi, is also here today. If you dare to touch a hair on my head, my father will come to deal with you immediately. Then you will not be so lucky." Mr. Chen's face was as pale as paper at this moment. As a second-generation man, he had long been accustomed to bullying others and regarded bullying the weak as his iron rule. However, he never expected that he would become the laughingstock in the eyes of everyone today. This was an unbearable humiliation for his noble self-esteem. At this moment, Lin Chen smiled slightly, and there was a hint of mystery and depth in his smile. In the disbelief of everyone's eyes, Mr. Chen actually raised his hand and slapped himself hard. Snapped. The crisp sound echoed in the streets, shocking everyone. The old people who were watching and the people who were watching the excitement felt an inexplicable pleasure in their hearts looking at Mr. Chen's miserable appearance. They felt that this slap was so satisfying. Young Master Chen was stunned. He watched helplessly as his hand was raised again and again and swung at his face again and again. He wanted to stop, but found that he couldn't control his movements at all. "Damn it, are you using some evil magic, Mr. Chen roared without hesitation, but his slap did not stop. Slaps sounded one after another. Enough, an angry shout echoed in the streets of Chaoyong. Mr. Chen stood beside Chen Qi, his eyes flashing with anger. As a member of the Chen family, how could he tolerate such a junior wantonly insulting the Chen family's reputation on the Chen family's territory? Mr. Chen's eyes were firm and he said in a majestic tone, "Miss, since you don't care about it today, then I will take care of it." He must not be like Chen Qi, Who disregards the honor of the Chen family just because of love? Hearing Mr. Chen's angry shouting, the corners of Lin Chen's mouth raised slightly, revealing a playful smile. He didn't seem to pay attention to old Chen's anger, but gently activated his telekinesis under old Chen's gaze. Young Master Chen was instantly thrown to the ground by his own slap. Lying on the street in a miserable state, Lin Chen said lightly, "Chao Yuan belongs to your Chen family, but I'm sorry, this young Master Chen has to answer here today." As soon as he finished speaking, a powerful thunder and lightning energy suddenly came from the center of Chao Yuan. That energy roared towards here like a giant dragon, instantly filling the entire street with a murderous atmosphere. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Time seemed to slow down at this moment. 3 seconds later, a black figure appeared in the air out of thin air. His eyes scanned the crowd lightly, and then yellow lightning burst out and swept over them. Along with a deep voice, the black figure slowly spoke. "This little brother actually ignores the majesty of my Chen family." The voice coming from the air was majestic and deep, causing everyone on the street to look up. When they saw the figure clearly, they all showed surprised expressions. "Oh my god, isn't the Chen Shan the head of the Chen family? He is a level 8 superpower. I heard that he once reached the 4th floor of the Killing Tower, which is a place only super strong people can set foot on." Someone exclaimed. "What? That's Patriarch Chen Shan? He looks so young. Also, why can he fly in the air? Could it be that he has awakened the power of flying?" Another asked curiously. "HMPH, you look like a foreigner at first glance. You don't even know the strength of the Chen Shan clan leader." Someone next to him snorted disdainfully. Clan Chief Chen Shan became famous at a young age. He once defeated all the invincible opponents in the imperial capital. Although he is now 100 years old, he still maintains his youthful appearance because of his superpowers. Moreover, he has awakened lightning power. This power is not only extremely powerful, but also allows him to float in the air. Amidst everyone's discussion, Mr. Chen also saw the face of the visitor clearly. He was immediately overjoyed and shouted loudly, "Father, this kid is provoking our Chen family. I have long disliked him, and you must take care of him. But don't kill him, I will make him unable to live or die." Chen Qi pursed her red lips on the side and complained secretly in her heart. She never expected that things would develop to this extent and even alarm the patriarch's father. Although the patriarch's father usually loves her the most, on this occasion, he will definitely not be partial to herself. After all, Lin Chen did humiliate Mr. Chen badly just now. Forget it, now we can only take one step at a time. After Lin Chen is captured, you can find an opportunity to intercede for him in private. Thinking of this, Chen Qi couldn't help but sigh. This time it was time to play daffodil above the sky. Chen Shan heard Mr. Chen's cry for help, and he frowned slightly. However, after a moment, he slowly landed from the sky and turned his eyes to Lin Chen. He said calmly, "Little brother, looking at your face, I seem to feel a little familiar. Have we met somewhere?" However, before Lin Chen could respond, Master Chen started his nonsense again. He shouted eagerly, "Father, this kid bullies me, you have to deal with him. It's best to let him raise his head even on February 2nd, as he spoke, he even pointed his finger at Lin Chen, appearing extremely arrogant. However, facing Mr. Chen's behavior, Lin Chen just said lightly, "Doesn't your finger hurt? If it doesn't hurt, another slap in the face should be fine, right?" Chapter 120 The Dutiful Son? Upon hearing this, a look of fear suddenly flashed across Mr. Chen's face. He quickly retracted his purple fingers. Although he could not fully understand the abilities displayed by Lin Chen, he was filled with deep fear in his heart. After all, just a few self-slaps made him experience unprecedented fear. At this moment, a whooshing sound broke the tranquility of the air. A dozen figures came galloping from not far away. They were extremely fast and arrived at the head of the Chen family, Chen Shan, in the blink of an eye. After these figures landed, they all bowed to Chen Shan, their voices full of respect. "Master, why did you come out in person? Why do you need to do something in person for such a trivial matter?" As for the strong man from the Chen family who suddenly appeared, Lin Chen looked at him calmly as if nothing was wrong. "Since we are planning to rescue Chen Lili today, we will face such a battle sooner or later. At this time, Chen Qi also stood up and tried to explain to Lin Chen, "Master, this is a strong man I just met, named Lin Chen. What just happened was actually a misunderstanding. You also know that Mr. Chen often causes some troubles." However, before she finished speaking, Lin Chen had already stepped forward. Every time he took a step, there seemed to be a powerful supernatural energy surrounding him. This force was so powerful that Chen Shan and others could not help but change their expressions. "Level 6 superpower? No, why do I feel that he is stronger than me?" Feeling the supernatural energy that was stronger than themselves, the expressions of Chen Shan and others also changed after hearing this. Everyone's screams of surprise resounded throughout the streets. How could they not be shocked that such a young and advanced expert was so young? Chen Shan finally reacted at this moment. He stared at Lin Chen with wide eyes, his heart filled with disbelief. This name, this face, he seemed to have seen it before somewhere. Suddenly, an idea flashed in his mind, and he remembered something. Damn it, isn't this Lin Chen who is currently ranked number 1 in the killing tower? But before Chen Shan could think about it for a moment, Mr. Chen said dissatisfiedly, "Father, even if this kid is a level 6 superpower, he can't be stronger than you. What are you? You are a level 8 superpower. Squeezing this guy to death is as easy as crushing an ant. Get rid of him quickly. Father, look, Lin Chen has a beautiful stewardess next to him. As long as you can take him down, then this beautiful stewardess will be yours. I can have a new baby mother." If Chen Shan had to stand up for his son when he came here, now he is sweating on his forehead. Although he is 100 years old, he is still going strong and strong. At the age of 80, he also successfully planted seeds in Chen Xiao. But who knows, this son is not here to repay his kindness. On the contrary, he came for revenge. Taking a deep breath, Chen Shan immediately landed next to Lin Chen and Mr. Chen. Young Master Chen saw his father coming. Although his face was bruised, he was still smiling and ready to watch Lin Chen's show. Snapped, who knows? Chen Shan slaps him down. Mr. Chen circled countless 360 degrees and finally hid a nearby restaurant. Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Are Chen Xiao and Chen Shan related to each other as father and son? Why would Chen Shan be so cruel? Although Lin Chen was already a level 6 superpower at a very young age, it didn't make Chen Shan like this. The person involved, Mr. Chen, was also confused. In fact, Chen Shan had spared his hand from the slap just now. Otherwise Mr. Chen's small body would not have been able to withstand it. But Mr. Chen was even more dissatisfied. Lin Chen used some strange power to make him hide himself, and then his father beat him. This inexplicably makes Mr. Chen have a head as big as 2. Father, what are you doing? I am your son. Why are you beating me? I even gave you a beautiful wife, and you still treat me like this. Shut up. Chen Shan shouted angrily. I was thinking in my heart, my filial son, are you going to send me away so that you can inherit my huge business? Mr. Lin Chen is really a joke. Chen Shan sighed awkwardly, waved his hand, and ordered in a deep voice, take Mr. Chen away. Seeing Chen Shan's frightening expression, the dozen or so strong men from the Chen family who came over immediately fell into silence, not daring to speak out. They were not fools. They could naturally tell that the head of the family was extremely wary of the young man in front of him, Lin Chen. It could even be said that he did not dare to offend easily. Although young Master Chen received a slap in the face today, fortunately he didn't let the matter get into an irreconcilable state. Several strong men from the Chen family said with a wry smile, and then one by one prepared to pull young Master Chen away. However, just when they were about to take steps, a plain but firm voice came over. Do I agree that he should leave? When Chen Shan heard this, his heart tightened. He quickly turned around and apologized to Lin Chen with a smile. Mr. Lin Chen, is there anything else that dissatisfies you? Please feel free to say it, and I will try my best to do it. It can be said that Chen Shan knows the difficulty of each level of the killing tower very well. Over the years, he has entered the killing tower more times than he has chatted with women. Therefore, he is well aware of Lin Chen's strength and terror. Although there was only a few dozen rankings between him and Lin Chen in the killing tower, he knew very well that every step forward was extremely difficult and the gap in strength was also huge. Let Mr. Chen kneel down for me and I will forgive him. Hearing this, Mr. Chen almost couldn't help but kneel down. But out of pride, he looked at Chen Shan, his eyes full of begging and expectation. Father, at this time, some people watching the theater in the street started to discuss what is the background of this young man? How dare he make Mr. Chen kneel down? Didn't you see? Even Chen Shan tried his best to please him, saying that he might not be the mainstay of the Chen family in the future. But isn't this too much of a slap in the face of the Chen family? I heard that Chen Shan is the most honorable person, but why doesn't he look like that? I don't think Chen Shan will let Mr. Chen kneel down. After all, this is the foundation of the Chen family. If you kneel down like this, how will the Chen family survive in the future? Under the attention of everyone, Chen Shan pulled Mr. Chen over. The father and son looked in high spirits, not in the least bit intimidated by Lin Chen's majesty. Everyone thought that Chen Shan would fight to the end with Lin Chen in order to protect his son's dignity, but the next scene surprised them. Chen Shan suddenly kicked Mr. Chen to the ground. Everyone, Mr. Chen, Chen Shan said behind Mr. Chen, "Child, don't look back. Although the children of the Chen family will kneel to heaven and earth and their parents, they will never kneel to others, but it's not without special circumstances, such as now." Chapter 121. The ancestor of the Chen family is also a womanizer? Lin Chen has seen countless shameless people, but in his long years, he has never encountered such a shameless guy. Chen Shan's weakness already surprised him, but what made him even more unbelievable was that Chen Shan actually involved his son in this muddy water. Young Master Chen was still confused at this moment. He asked his father Chen Shan in confusion, "Father, do we really have to kneel down?" He could not understand why his father, who had always been strong and domineering, would be so weak and incompetent today. Even kneel down to others. However, Chen Shan did not give his son any chance to explain. He scolded him coldly, "What nonsense! Kneel down quickly." Although Mr. Chen was unwilling to do so, he had no choice but to do so under his father's coercion. Amid everyone's shocked gazes, he kowtowed to Lin Chen as a salute. Seeing this scene, Lin Chen's lips curved into a slight smile, seeming to be quite satisfied with Mr. Chen's actions. However, this smile fell in Chen Shan's eyes, but it made him mistakenly think that the matter had been resolved, and he couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. He was about to have Mr. Chen dragged away, and then have a good chat with Lin Chen to see if he could leave a good impression on the super strong man who ranked first in the killing tower. But just when he was smiling and respectful, Lin Chen suddenly spoke. "This must be the head of the Chen family, right?" Although Lin Chen's tone was calm, it revealed an unquestionable majesty. Chen Shan quickly nodded and bowed in response. "Hello, Mr. Lin Chen, I am indeed the head of the Chen family. My name is Chen Shan. Just call me Xiao Shanzi." He raised his attitude to the highest level, for fear of offending this super strong man. Lin Chen did not change his attitude because of his submission. He said lightly, "Oh, Shanzi, I have to ask you for something. I wonder if Shanzi is willing to help." Chen Shan's heart trembled, and he quickly said, "Mr. Lin Chen, it doesn't matter, as long as it's anything Xiao Shanzi can do, I can do it." At this moment, he had completely lost the majesty of the head of the family, and only hoped to meet Lin Chen's request, thus quelling the turmoil. However, Lin Chen's next words made his heart sink again. "I heard that my woman was taken away by people from your Chen family." Lin Chen's tone was still as calm as water, but in Chen Shan's ears it exploded like thunder. At this moment, he wanted to kick Mr. Chen to pieces. This troublemaker actually provoked such a being. His forehead was covered with sweat, and he stammered in explanation, "Is there any misunderstanding about this matter?" However, Lin Chen didn't give him any chance to explain. "Misunderstanding? Why do I think it's not a misunderstanding? Has Chen Lili heard of it?" His tone suddenly turned cold, making Chen Shan feel an inexplicable chill rising from the soles of his feet. "Rise Chen Lili?" Upon hearing this name, Chen Shan's face instantly turned pale as a sheet. Of course he knows what this name represents. Yesterday, someone did bring back many good-looking, figure-shaping, and childbearing women from the Chen family. Among them was this woman named Chen Lili, but this matter was so common that he didn't take it seriously, and sent Chen Lili to the ancestor of the Chen family without even asking about the details of the matter. How did he know that this seemingly ordinary woman had such a powerful background? What's the problem? Lin Chen asked again when he saw Chen Shan suddenly became silent. "Mr. Lin Chen, what do you think of this?" Chen Shan bit the bullet, licked his dry lips, and carefully made a suggestion. "I will give you some compensation, and you just show your dignity and stop pursuing this matter." He tried to use money or power to calm Lin Chen's anger, which was his usual method as the head of the Chen family. However, he was wrong. Lin Chen was not the kind of person he imagined he could deal with money or power. Just when Chen Shan thought Lin Chen would accept his proposal, Lin Chen's eyes suddenly moved slightly, and his whole body seemed to be wrapped by a purple lightning. Immediately afterwards, 36 thunder guns suddenly appeared behind Lin Chen, each one shining with a dazzling purple light and exuding a heart-stopping terrifying aura. Seeing this scene, Chen Shan was stunned, and the expression on his face instantly stiffened. He has never seen such a horrific scene, nor has he ever felt such a strong sense of oppression. He knew that he had provoked an existence that he absolutely should not provoke. "Mr. Lin, I made a mistake." Chen Shan swallowed his saliva and said with a trembling voice, "Can we discuss it? Our Chen family can definitely give you a beauty with a bigger than Chen Lili and a more powerful squeeze for you. Calm down and calm down." He tried to exchange Lin Chen's forgiveness with more attractive terms. However, before he could finish his words, a thunder gun was fired hard at him. Chen Shan is also a user with lightning powers, but at this moment, facing Lin Chen's lightning attack, He felt extremely powerless and desperate. He tried his best to form a huge thunder shield in front of him to try to resist Lin Chen's attack. When the thunder gun collided with the thunder shield, Chen Shan's thunder shield was instantly shattered into nothingness. The powerful impact brought by the thunder gun even flew the buildings and people on the street dozens of meters away as the direct victim. Chen Shan was so shocked by the impact that he almost vomited blood and died. He tried his best to hold on to the thunder gun and prevent it from causing further damage to him. Fortunately, Lin Chen only fired one thunder gun if there were one more. Chen Shan believed that he would be a corpse now. He looked at the remaining 35 thunder guns behind Lin Chen with lingering fear, his heart filled with fear and awe. He knew that he had completely angered the super strong man. The only hope now is that the other party can show mercy and leave a way for him to survive. Lin Chen's eyes were as cold as ice. He stared at Chen Shan indifferently, with a hint of unquestionable majesty in his tone. "What did you just say?" "I didn't hear clearly." Chen Shan wiped away the blood from the corner of his mouth with difficulty. His voice was trembling and helpless. "Mr. Lin, I was wrong. But Chen Lili, even if I want to give it to you, I can't do it. Even if you take it from me today, I can't hand her over my life." As soon as these words came out, everyone around them looked shocked. Chen Shan would actually say such a thing. And judging from his serious injury, it was obvious that he no longer had the prestige he once had. "Is the young man in front of me really capable of killing Chen Shan?" Lin Chen frowned slightly. He was not satisfied with Chen Shan's answer. "What does this mean?" Chen Shan sighed and explained, "Every year, according to the order of the ancestor of the Chen family, we will pay tribute to some beautiful and plump beauties. Although I don't know why the ancestor has such a request, as a member of the Chen family, we can only obey. To be honest, even if you kill me today, I will not dare to disturb the peace of the ancestor of the Chen family. What's more, I don't know where he is now." Hearing this, Lin Chen frowned even more tightly. Chapter 122 Unlocking the Black Silk Stewardess. After hearing about the ancestor of the Chen family, Lin Chen thought for a moment and walked up to Chen Shan. When Chen Shan saw Lin Chen walking towards him, he felt an inexplicable fear in his heart. He kept chanting, "Master Lin Chen, please spare me. If I had known that Chen Lili was your woman, I wouldn't have dared to take any offense even if you gave me such courage." However, Lin Chen said expressionlessly, "It's useless to talk about this now." As soon as he finished speaking, an ancient magic circle instantly appeared in front of Chen Shan. This is the first time Lin Chen has used a blood oath on a man. "I hope it works." I saw that the magic circle was emitting a mysterious light, as if it was going to swallow everything. Chen Shan looked at the magic circle in front of him. A trace of despair flashed in his eyes. He said with a trembling voice, I was wrong. Lin Chen, I don't want to die. I still have a large family waiting for me to support them." 10 minutes passed, and Chen Shan seemed to have experienced a baptism of life and death. The way he looked at Lin Chen gradually changed, from initial fear to later respect, and now to admiration. He bowed deeply and said respectfully, "Dear Lord Lin Chen, I am your loyal subordinate Chen Shan. From now on, I am willing to go through fire and water for you, no matter what." Mr. Chen on the side saw that his father was so respectful to Lin Chen and even called him sir. He couldn't accept it for a while. He shouted loudly, "Father, who is he? Are you an old fool?" However, Lin Chen didn't even look at him, and just said to Chen Shan calmly, "Take care of your son. I don't want to hear his noise anymore." After receiving the order, Chen Shan walked towards his son without hesitation. He grabbed Mr. Chen's collar, and before he could react, he punched him in the heart. Mr. Chen's eyes widened, his face full of disbelief and horror. He struggled and fell to the ground, spitting blood from his mouth. Chen Shan looked at his son, who fell on the ground without any unbearable feeling in his heart. It seemed that this son had nothing to do with him. He turned around and bowed to Lin Chen. "Yes, sir." His voice was firm and powerful, revealing his absolute loyalty to Lin Chen. "Go on, tell me, where's the ancestor of your Chen family? I don't want to hear nonsense." Lin Chen said lightly, "Sir, it's not that I don't tell you, it's that every time we send the selected beauties to his house, we leave directly. But to tell you the truth, there is actually no one in his house. They are all a little doubtful. Is it that the ancestor has passed away long ago, or what? There are not any beauties sent," Chen Shan explained. "Pretend to be a ghost. After I deal with one thing first, you will take me to your ancestor's house immediately." Lin Chen said impatiently, and then he turned and walked towards the stewardess Liang Chen. Liang Chen felt nervous when he saw Lin Chen walking towards him. She didn't know what this man was going to say to her, but she could feel that the aura on his body made her irresistible. Lin Chen stood in front of Liang Chen, looked directly into her eyes with deep eyes, and said, "Are you willing to be my woman? If you want, I can take care of you for the rest of your life." "Of course, You can also refuse, but you know the consequences. Hearing this, Lin Chen's beautiful eyes widened instantly, and a wisp of red cloud spread quickly from her snowy face to her neck. She felt her heart beating faster, as if it was about to jump out of her chest. She took a deep breath, then nodded bravely and said, I do. Just when Lin Chen thought that he would have to go through some in-depth communication to get the system reward, Chen Qi came over. When she saw that Lin Chen had agreed to Lin Chen, she felt unwilling to do so. She didn't want to lose to this woman in anything, even when it came to becoming Lin Chen's woman. So, Chen Qi gritted his teeth, walked up to Lin Chen, and said, I am willing to. In fact, Chen Qi only had a slight affection for Lin Chen at first. But now her heart is full of firm determination. She didn't want to lose to Lin Chen. She also wanted to be Lin Chen's woman, and become his most favored woman. At this moment, the system's voice suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking the object of world-class quality. The host is specially awarded 200,000 points. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking the object of national quality. The host is specially awarded 200,000 points. The sound of the system was as sweet as the sounds of nature, making Lin Chen's mood instantly rise. He thought he heard it wrong, but now he could fix bugs in the system and get rewards without having to communicate in depth. According to this, the women who were brought back from the Dragnet organization before can be made to agree. Isn't it just a matter of minutes to break through to the apprentice level superpower? Immediately afterwards, the system continued to announce, in view of the fact that Lin Chen's unlocked objects are blessed by stewardesses and eldest ladies from aristocratic families, it will now consume 400,000 points. The mental power unlocked for the host will be increased by 2,000 points, and other attributes will also be increased by 400 points, and Purple Xiao Shanlei's ability level provides 1 level. Seeing this prompt, Lin Chen immediately opened the character panel. Host, Lin Chen, age 20, strength 1715. Agility 1690, mental power 4190, physique 1665, levels, early stage of level 7 ordinary superpowers, level 7 superpowers are 80 times the value of adults, early stage of level 9 psychic superpowers, level 9 superpowers are 200 times the value of adults, items, ice silk bikini 5+, unopened Balenciaga stockings 4, purple underwear 1, ice silk binding rope 4.8550 skills. 1. Purple sky divine thunder, level 7. 2. Status immunity, level 5. 3. Space power, level 6. 4. Summon zombies, level 5. 5. Secret of shadow, level 4. 5. Blood oath, level 3. As soon as he saw the astonishing improvement in attributes on his character panel, Lin Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of joy in his heart. He clearly felt that with each upgrade of Zixio Divine Thunder, he gained not only a leaping level, but also a deep understanding of the power of thunder and lightning. This realization seemed to make him more closely connected with the thunder and lightning between heaven and earth. Strength, agility, and physique. These 3 basic attributes are already 80 times that of ordinary people, allowing him to easily cope with any environment. What surprised him even more was that his mental power had reached 200 times that of ordinary people, making him a level 9 mental power user. This means that his spiritual strength has reached a whole new level, which is enough for him to display more powerful strength in battle. Lin Chen knew very well that such an improvement not only allowed him to go further on the path of being a superpower, but also made the gap between him and those Martial King level experts smaller and smaller. Although he has not yet truly entered the realm of the Martial King, at least on the surface, he is already qualified to compete with them. However, just as he was immersed in the joy brought by this power, a familiar voice suddenly brought him back to reality. He was slightly startled and realized that it was Chen Lili calling him. But Chen Lili was not around. Is Chen Lili in danger? Lin Chen came back to his senses and said to Chen Shan, let's leave now and head to your ancestor's house immediately. At the same time, he also noticed the stewardess Lin Chen and the eldest daughter of the Chen family, Chen Gear. Beside him, the two of them pressed against him tightly, squeezing into an indescribable shape. But now that Chen Lili's life or death was uncertain, Lin Chen could not delay any longer. You two are doing well. I will come and have a chat with you in the evening, Lin Chen said to the two of them with a smile, then turned and walked towards the mansion of the ancestor of the Chen family. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123. Wait, he's not dead? After a while, Lin Chen and Chen Shan arrived in front of the Chen family's magnificent villa. The momentum and scale of this villa are indeed unmatched by the four major families in Luo City. Even if all the villas of the four major families were added together, they would probably only occupy 10% of the Chen family's villa, which is enough to demonstrate the noble status of the Chen family as one of the four major families in the imperial capital. Sir, this is our Chen family. Chen Shan stood at the door of the villa and introduced Lin Chen respectfully. There was a kind of pride and awe in his voice, as if he was proud to be a member of the Chen family. And at the same time he was in awe of Lin Chen's strength and status. Then go in, Lin Chen said lightly. He did not show any expression of surprise or envy because of the wealth and momentum of the Chen family. For him, these are external things that cannot be compared with his strength and heart. However, just as they were about to enter the villa, a group of people suddenly poured out of the door of Chen's house. These people look menacing and have bad intentions. As soon as they saw Lin Chen and Chen Shan, they immediately came up and surrounded them. How presumptuous! Didn't you see that my master was going over? Chen Shan was furious when he saw this. He glared and scolded sternly. However, the crowd who gathered around him did not back down because of his scolding, but instead became even more arrogant. Chief, you are confused. Why did you let your enemy in? Have you been given a stupor? The leader was Chen Shan's second brother, Chen Tai. He looked at Chen Shan with anger and confusion, as if he couldn't understand why his brother would make such a decision. Standing next to Chen Tai were his good friend Yang Jinzi, and the two bodyguards Yang Jinzi brought with him, Yang Yin and Yang Yang. They came to discuss the cooperation between the Yang family and the Chen family today. But who would have thought that such a big change would happen to the Chen family? The eldest son of the Chen family was killed by Lin Chen on the spot, but Chen Shan, the head of the Chen family, called Lin Chen his master, which shocked and angered them. At this moment, Chen Tai's wife Yang Yang also walked out of the villa with a pregnant belly. She looked a little haggard, but her eyes were firm and powerful. However, when Chen Tai saw the appearance of his wife Yang Yang, his face did not show the gentleness and concern he should have. On the contrary, he frowned slightly and said with reproach in his tone, "Madam, why did you come out? Did the doctor give you countless instructions to rest during this period?" There was dissatisfaction in his voice, as if he was blaming you. Yang Yang shouldn't have appeared at this critical moment. Yang Yang had a big belly and his face was a little pale, but his eyes were firm. She looked at Chen Tai, with a deep sadness in her tone. "Young Master Chen was killed on the spot today. How could I sit back and watch? It's not like you don't know that young Master Chen and I have been childhood sweethearts since childhood and have a deep relationship. If not with your appearance, I might even become the young mistress of the Chen family." When Chen Tai heard this, his expression became even more gloomy. He waved his hand and signaled Yang Yang to step back. "Okay, you go back and rest first. I know Mr. Chen's matter well and will take care of it." However, Yang Yang had no intention of giving in and instead took a few steps forward, stood firmly by Lin Chen's side. At the same time, Lin Chen seemed unaware of the tense atmosphere around him. He yawned and said impatiently, "You guys come together. I'm rushing to save my wife Chen Lili." His attitude was extremely arrogant, as if he didn't take Chen Tai and others seriously at all. Chen Tai was furious when he heard this. He showed a ferocious look on his face and said viciously, "Good boy, how dare you be so arrogant? Although I don't know what means you used to confuse Chen Shan and make him obey your words, but do you think you can walk around the entire imperial capital in this way? Let me tell you, today he's dead. Chen Shan's strength ranks second in the Chen family, and I am the #1 master." "So much nonsense." Lin Chen uttered a sentence coldly, obviously tired of Chen Tai's nonsense. His eyes were as sharp as knives, and he exuded a powerful aura. It was the first time that Chen Tai saw such an arrogant person and stopped talking nonsense. He and the other three people looked at each other, and then they all rushed towards Lin Chen. In a moment, Chen Tai was wrapped in purple lightning, and the remaining three people also showed different powers, especially Yang Jin. He turned into a little golden man and rushed towards Lin Chen with lightning speed. Seeing Lin Chen surrounded by many masters of the Chen family, some people who like to watch theater began to talk about it. "I'm afraid Chen Tai's current strength is at least a level 9 superpower, right? Then trying to manipulate Lin Chen is just like playing games," someone said gloatingly. "You can't say that. After all, Lin Chen is the #1 master of the Killing Tower. His strength is definitely not weak." Some people also recognize Lin Chen's strength. Although Lin Chen ranks first in the Killing Tower, The three masters brought by Chen Tai are not simple at first glance. It's hard to say who will win in this battle. Some people began to analyze the strength comparison between the two sides. How dare you look so close? The fluctuations in battles for level 6 superpowers and above are very scary. It is safe to look at them from at least 1 kilometer away, right? Even 10 kilometers is not an exaggeration, someone warned, but most people seemed to be attracted by the upcoming fierce battle and had no time to care about their own safety. Just when the four of them were full of confidence and approached Lin Chen to launch a fatal blow, the entire Chen family door suddenly made a loud noise, as if an invisible force broke out in an instant. The power of this force was so powerful that people were stunned, whether it was Yang Yang, the pregnant woman who had been insisting on seeing Lin Chen die, or ordinary people watching the show, or low-level superpowers. They were all knocked away by this huge power. Meters away, he fell to the ground in embarrassment. Are you dead? This is my strongest blow. Chen Tai looked proud. He believed that his full blow could definitely kill Lin Chen. However, as soon as he finished speaking, he heard people talking next to him. Even if he doesn't die, he doesn't think he is a Super Saiyan, right? Someone exclaimed, obviously shocked by Lin Chen's ability to resist being hit. Yes, with this level of strength, I'm not saying that even Mr. Long, who is number 1 in the Dragon Kingdom, may not be able to withstand it. Others echoed that. They began to re-evaluate Lin Chen's strength. It's a pity. In such a horrific outbreak, it would be difficult to save even a few bones, not to mention a whole body. Others expressed regret for Lin Chen's life and death, thinking that he might have been shattered to pieces under such a powerful attack. The four of them looked with satisfaction at the huge smoke produced by their powerful blow, as if they had seen the scene of Lin Chen lying in a pool of blood. However, they did not notice that in the middle of the smoke, a figure slowly stood up. Wait, he's not dead? Yang Yang, the pregnant woman, said. Who knows? As the smoke gradually dissipated, Lin Chen's next words made everyone slightly stunned. Madam, you haven't agreed to be my woman. How can I be willing to die? Chen Tai, Yang Jin, everyone? Chapter 124. The thief Xiao gets involved. Madam, you haven't agreed to be my woman. How can I be willing to die? Lin Chen's voice came like a thunderbolt from the blue, shocking everyone present. You must know that the blow just now was the strongest blow jointly delivered by the four top superpowers. It was so powerful that it could move the world. Even if Long Chengxi, the strongest fighting force in the Dragon Kingdom, comes here in person, he has to avoid his edge for the time being. After all, not just anyone could withstand such an attack. However, just when everyone thought Lin Chen had been completely dealt with, his voice suddenly sounded. Those four people thought it was a big joke. They saw Lin Chen being hit with their own eyes. How could he still be alive? Who is bluffing there? Lin Chen was killed by us just now, Chen Tai shouted loudly, trying to cover up his inner panic. Kill? Who do you think killed me? Lin Chen's voice came again, this time clearer. As the sound fell, the smoke gradually dissipated, and a figure slowly emerged. Compared with a vague figure that was just looming, I can see it more clearly now. It's Lin Chen. He stood there, seemingly unaffected by the attack just now. Everyone on the side was dumbfounded when they saw this scene. They couldn't believe their eyes. How could this be possible? Lin Chen actually stood there unscathed. He's not dead. Is this a human or a ghost? Even if Elder Long Changxi comes, nothing will happen to him after such a blow, isn't it? Is this a fake doo-doo? Everyone present started talking, and they couldn't figure out what happened. Not far away, Chen Tai's wife Yang Yang was also stunned. She looked at her husband and asked with confusion, "Husband, what's the matter with you? Didn't you say that playing with this kid is like playing?" Chen Tai's face also looked a little ugly. He originally wanted to show off his strength in front of his wife, but unexpectedly he was slapped in the face by Lin Chen. He took a deep breath, tried to stay calm, and said calmly, "Madam, don't panic. Although we don't know what happened, we just made a tentative move and did not use our full strength. Madam, wait until I use all my strength to capture this boy alive. How about you use your high heels to ravage him? Let him know why Chao Yong's surname is Chen." Chen Tai said this, but he knew very well that the blow just now was the strongest blow for him and the other three. However, as a man, you always have to keep up your dignity outside. He couldn't let his wife underestimate him, so he pretended to be calm and waited for the next opportunity to attack, intending to take down Lin Chen in one fell swoop. Yang Jingzi helped from one side. "That's right, we just tested the waters a little bit. When we actually take action, this kid will definitely not be able to continue to be arrogant. What do you think?" After hearing this, the faces of the bodyguards Zhu Yang Yin and Yu Yang Yang twitched involuntarily. They knew clearly in their hearts that they had gone all out just now and did not hold anything back. However, their young master's words have already been spoken. What more can they say? So, the two of them could only bite the bullet and echoed, "It's true, it was just a small test just now. Next time, that kid will have no chance of surviving." While everyone on the other side was whispering and planning the next round of offensive, Lin Chen unexpectedly broke the silence first. He smiled slightly, with a chill in his eyes. "Have we discussed it? This time, I hope you won't have any reservations, because I won't show any mercy anymore. So, do your best and show your strongest strength. After all, I also have very little time precious." Having said this, he turned to look at the lady beside him, with a trace of questioning flashing in his eyes. The moment he finished speaking, Lin Chen's figure swayed violently, and immediately after him, several spears flashing with purple arcs suddenly appeared behind him, each one exuding the heart-stopping power of thunder. When Chen Tai, Yang Jianzi and others saw this scene, their hearts tightened, and they subconsciously wanted to activate their powers to fight back. However, the moment they activated their powers, a suffocating purple lightning suddenly burst out from Lin Chen's body, hitting them with lightning speed. Not only the four of them, but also the people around who were watching the excitement and the battle were so powerless in front of the power of thunder and lightning. They were all frozen in place and unable to move, and those ordinary people who were not superpowers, under the aftermath of this thunder and lightning, did not even have the chance to struggle, and were instantly reduced to ashes. What's going on? Why can't I move? Yang Jianzi's eyes widened with disbelief on his face. Chen Tai's face was ashen at this moment. He swallowed hard and said with a trembling voice, what kind of lightning power is this? Why am I also a lightning power user, but I can't fight back in front of him? No, not just that I couldn't move, I felt as if my powers were completely suppressed and I couldn't even raise my hands." Everyone present now deeply understood the horror of Lin Chen's lightning power. How they looked down on Lin Chen before, now they feel so regretful and afraid. However, that's not the worst. The real despair has just begun to come. "Honey, save me, I can't move." Yang, a pregnant woman, cried out, her voice full of fear and helplessness. "If you don't save me, I'm afraid our baby will die with me. What should I do?" Chen Tai smiled bitterly and shook his head helplessly. "I just told you, don't come. It's okay now, we all have to go to company." Mr. Chen. Yang couldn't believe her ears. These words came from the mouth of the eternally powerful God. In her heart, Chen Tai. In her heart, Chen Tai has always been the omnipotent hero who can kill people and kill Buddhas. However, today, he has become so helpless and desperate. How can she accept this? Yang's mentality completely collapsed. She sat weakly on the ground and muttered to herself, "No, I don't want to die. Didn't you say you would protect me and the child? How could you be so helpless? We put in so much effort to conceive the child, and you just forgot about it? Your failure to do so, I can only choose in vitro fertilization. I don't want to die. Chen Tai, you can't let me die." Her tears rolled down like broken beads, making the ground wet. Her voice was choked and she could hardly continue speaking. Chen Tai watched his beloved woman burst into tears, feeling pain in his heart as if being cut by a knife. He tried hard to comfort her, but found that he couldn't even move at this moment. Lin Chen had already walked in front of Yang. He smiled slightly, but there was no warmth or kindness in that smile. Chen Tai watched Lin Chen getting closer and closer to his woman. Feeling an inexplicable panic in his heart, he shouted hurriedly, "Lin Chen, what are you going to do? That's my wife, aren't you a CEO thief?" Who knew? Lin Chen ignored him at all because he has Chapter 125 the Law of Doom. Because Lin Chen had turned on the system identification function, a light blue light swept across his eyes immediately. Yang's information was clearly displayed in front of his eyes. Name, Yang. Race, human. Gender, female. Age 34. Quality, Kingo. Occupation, Miss Yang. Family. Appearance 94. Body 94. Power, A level. Water power, level 3. Overall rating 93. Looking at this information, Lin Chen couldn't help but be slightly stunned. He did not expect that the charming pregnant woman in front of him was actually the eldest lady of a family and had such a noble status, and her appearance and figure are also of a rare top level. It seems that Chen Tai is also blessed. Lin Chen secretly thought that it was indeed Chen Tixiu's blessing to have such a wife at this time. Yang was still sitting on the ground, tears flowing uncontrollably. Her powers seemed to be out of control due to her emotional fluctuations, and water stains began to appear on the ground around her. Lin Chen looked at this scene and couldn't help but sigh in his heart. This water power is so suitable for this woman. Why does the ground become covered with water when she is sad? I just don't know if it will be like this when chatting. Yang's eyes were full of panic. She looked at Lin Chen's approaching figure, and the fear in her heart surged like a tide. She thought that her extremely powerful husband Chen Tai could easily subdue Lin Chen, but the situation at this moment made her feel like she was falling into an ice cellar. Lin Chen's steps did not seem to be slowed down by her fear, but instead revealed a sense of playfulness and provocation. As a low-level superpower, Yang seemed so insignificant in front of a being of Lin Chen's level. She knew that she could not compete with him. "You don't be like this, okay?" Yang's voice was trembling, and she tried to use her status as a pregnant woman to try to gain a chance for herself. "I'm a pregnant woman. You won't hurt me, right?" However, these words seemed to rouse Lin Chen's interest even more. A playful smile appeared at the corner of his mouth and he said, "Pregnant women? Pregnant women are great. I have chatted with many women, but I have never chatted with pregnant women, and I really feel sorry for you. You think you are so beautiful, but your husband is so ugly. Why don't you beat the child? I don't dislike you, and we can have a good-looking child together." Chen Tai, who was not far away, almost died of anger when he heard this. He yelled directly, "Lin Chen! Come and FK me if you have the guts. Don't touch my wife." Lin Chen smiled slightly with just a slight movement of thought. Chen Tai's right leg was cut off instantly. One foot was cut off forcibly, and Chen Tai almost fainted. "Lin Chen, you are shameless. Why don't you die?" "Damn it, my feet, my feet!" Chen Tai roared like a killing pig. Then Lin Chen turned to look at Yang and said with a smile, "I will give you a choice to become my woman, then I will be responsible for you. But there is an ugly saying, I will not be responsible for your child, because it is not mine. Of course, you can also refuse me, then I will chop off your man's head, clean his brain, and preferably make the skull into a work of art or a bowl for you to eat every day. I'll give this bowl to you then." The words just fell. Yang was almost frightened to death. She never expected that Lin Chen's seemingly harmless words would be so penetrating. Before Yang could react, Lin Chen appeared in front of her like a ghost. Although he didn't say a word, the intention revealed in those deep eyes was as hard as iron and impossible to ignore. Lin Chen stared at Yang coldly, opened his thin lips slightly, and spoke words as sharp as a nice knife. "Be my woman, or die. I give you 3 seconds to make a decision." This sudden announcement made Yang feel like she was falling into an ice cellar. She subconsciously touched her slightly bulging belly, feeling an inexplicable sadness well up in her heart. She pursed her dry lips, as if looking for some solace for her weakness and helplessness. "Son, it's your mother who is sorry for you," Yang murmured to himself, tears welling up in his eyes. "But you have to believe that mom will try her best to find a good dad for you." After that, she mustered up the courage to look up at Lin Chen, her voice trembling but firm. "I am willing to be your woman, but please don't hurt my child. As long as the child can be born safely, I am willing to let him recognize you as his father." Chen Tai was heartbroken. He and Yang had gone through all kinds of hardships to finally conceive this child. Only they knew the hardships and expectations. Now that he had to face such a choice, he felt powerless and desperate like never before. However, when he thought that his child would take another man's surname, Chen Tai unexpectedly felt a sense of relief. Maybe this is destiny. As long as the child can survive, what's the problem even if his last name is not his? Just when everyone was thinking about their own thoughts, the system's clear and sweet voice suddenly sounded in Lin Chen's mind. "Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully unlocking the rare quality object. Special reward of 200,000 points. Then the system continued to announce, in view of the fact that the host is a pregnant woman who has made a significant contribution to the survival of mankind, the system will consume an additional 200,000 points to improve the host's mental power and other attributes. The host's mental power will be increased by 1,000 points, and other attributes will also be increased. Gain 200 points of improvement. And the host's space ability will successfully evolve to the max level, and the storage space will be infinitely expanded." Lin Chen was overjoyed when he heard this series of prompts. He didn't expect to get such generous rewards for unlocking new characters. Moreover, his space power has also evolved to its ultimate form. This means that he will have an endless space in the Sea of Spirit, and then he can store any items as he wants without worrying about insufficient space. Yang saw Lin Chen's mouth slightly raised, showing an imperceptible smile, and the string hanging in her heart finally relaxed. However, this short period of peace did not allow her to completely let go of the worry and hatred in her heart. She silently told herself in her heart that it was just a temporary measure to let the child temporarily recognize the thief as his father, just to protect the lives of their mother and child. When the child grows up, she will definitely tell him the truth. His father is an upright hero, and he must avenge his father. However, these wild thoughts came to an abrupt end with a sharp whoosh sound. Chen Tai on the side opened his eyes in horror. watching Lin Chen in front of him suddenly raise the weapon in his hand and aim it at Yang Yang. No. Chen Tai let out a heartbreaking scream, but it was too late. He watched helplessly as his wife Yang Yang agreed to become Lin Chen's woman, but was powerless to witness Lin Chen's ruthless killing. Yang Yang was also shocked. She looked at Yang Yang's body falling weakly, and the blood stained the ground red. If Yang Yang, the person involved, still had a head, he might not be able to believe his eyes. The person who had just been talking to him had brutally killed him like this. You are not human. You are a devil. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.